Welcome to Hey Assbutt.
Oh my God. Is that what we're going with?
I think that's it.
I mean, I guess so.
It's either that or Welcome to Hey Assbutt.
Or
That's it.
Welcome to Hey Assbutt.
That's the whole thing. We're here now.
I'm your host,
All of them.
We are here.
Symphony.
It's a symphony of Assbutt.
Yes. You're getting ass-butted from all sides.
Getting Assbutt in every corner.
Yes. Your butts are in your asses, and your asses are in your butts.
Nobody
We're
puts...
adults. You know what I mean? Like, I'm 26. Nobody puts a butt in a corner except ass.
Oh, damn. Let's just call this Drunk Cast. That's
Drunk
what
Cast,
Cast?
yeah.
the
All right.
episode is called.
We-
Spoiler alert, we're a little drunk.
We went to a Mexican restaurant and we all had margaritas.
We're like,
We're drinking
like
rum,
giant margaritas.
Like giant margaritas.
Yeah.
And it was happy hour when we got there, so
Yep.
we paid happy hour prices.
damn.
It was dangerous.
And-
Right.
And now we're drinking like rum and Coke and Kahlua and coffee.
It's going to
All
be
kinds of stuff. It's
It's
going to
gonna
be
rum and Coke
fun
floats here in a
podcast.
it's
bit.
going to be an
baby.
adventure.
It's going to be a time.
It
Gonna
really
be
is.
a good time is what it's going to be.
You know what I've been struggling with this week?
What's that?
Okay, so I've had some free time
Yeah, you have.
because I lost my job, which is fine. We're not here to talk about that.
It's fine.
Like straight up
But-
lost or just
like I've
time
lost it,
lost?
lost
Oh,
it,
yeah.
baby.
But it's fine. I'm looking for a new job. I ain't worried about that. But I've had a lot of free time. So I've decided that I'm going to watch an anime that was made after 2007.
oh shit.
And then I go and I look through like the cute, like the animes on Funimation, and then I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna watch Outlaw Star instead. And then I just don't. I just am not. I'm never gonna watch an anime past 2007. It's insane.
That's how I feel about music. And then I ended up listening to fucking what's that band?
What is
Nobody.
that band?
If you don't know the band, we're not gonna know the band.
Yeah.
Falling in Reverse.
Oh.
That
Oh my god.
super guilty pleasure band.
I've
I have heard
never
of them.
Heard of them.
yeah, they're-
Because my best friend likes them.
oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Who's your best friend?
Devin.
Devin.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Devin's sons.
All right.
Oh, way to say her full name.
By the time this airs, she will be in Austria. Actually.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
So it doesn't matter. You're gonna have to look through an entire country to find her.
Exactly.
Good luck.
You're not gonna find her.
Yeah, you're not gonna find her.
Australia is what, the size of what, Huntsville?
Yeah, how big is Austria?
sorry.
What?
I
It
just-
is
oh,
bigger than Huntsville,
I
probably.
did that for the joke. I'm sorry.
No,
I
honestly,
know.
there's a lot of those European countries that don't realize how big the states are.
Well, that's like that reference
Yeah.
from a Euro trip. Come on, the UK is the size of the Eastwood Mall. We could swim to
Yeah. And it's like, I saw a thing on the internet that was like, oh yeah, we wanted Burger King, so we had to go to fucking Sweden. Get Burger
Jesus
King.
Christ.
I mean, but that's because those European countries, like, I can go down the street and get a Burger King.
Yeah.
Like, I'm from Texas. I can go 10 minutes in Texas. I mean, like, if you drive 30 minutes and you're in Austria, once you drive 30 minutes, I bet you're in Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're in Texas,
Well, where she's gonna be is actually like. It's literally 30 minutes away from Germany.
Exactly,
Something
like
crazy
that.
Yeah.
There we
if
go.
you're in
What I
Texas and
mean.
you drive 30 minutes and
If
you're in
you
a different
drive-
state, you have a problem.
if you're in Dallas, Texas, and you drive 30 minutes,
You're still in
in
Texas.
Fort Worth.
Yeah, you're just in more Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've passed through Arlington. Like
Yeah.
that's what's happened.
Yeah,
Oh, I know
damn.
the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
it's not
but-
like my whole family
well,
is there and I go there every other year, but
Fun
it's
fact:
fine.
if you do drive 30 minutes in Alabama, specifically where we are, I mean, it depends on the direction.
I mean,
but
it depends
you
on-
could end up close to the Tennessee border.
You could
Yeah.
be in Tennessee, or you could stay in Alabama, or you could be like a little closer to Mississippi.
yeah, but
Or
you
you-
can't drive through the entire state,
No.
Yeah.
like
Maryland or Delaware.
right or Rhode Island.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
cross Rhode Island in like
Yeah,
45 minutes
hypothetically.
with traffic.
Unless you were on the
Ro-
Texas border, you're not going to get out of Texas for a while.
Yeah. Rhode Island.
All right, so to put this in perspective for you guys, from Huntsville, Alabama to Fairview, Texas, which is right outside of Dallas, that is a 12-hour drive.
Yes.
And then from Dallas, Texas to anywhere anything outside of the border of Texas that is west of Texas, like what's outside of Texas? New Mexico?
New Mexico, Arizona, kind of.
If you're going to go to New Mexico, if you drive 12 hours from Dallas, you're still in Texas.
Yep.
So long.
You're like about to get to New Mexico.
Yeah. Such a big state.
You're another 30 minutes away from getting to New Mexico.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in its own country. I mean, it's in its own country. It was its own country.
It was its own country.
Ooh, Kovler, get
It was
together.
also part of Mexico.
Well, Texas was its own like country for like what, a season?
Like a day.
An entire 24 episodes.
And they will
Texas
never
was its country.
let you forget it.
They never.
They will never, ever. I was in Texas for 3 hours, and I heard about how Texas was a state like 26 times. It was fucking nuts.
Fuck it, let's.
I'm from Texas, and I'm not brainwashed enough to be like, "Whoa, Texas is the best."
That's
But
because you spend most of your life not in Texas.
not in Texas, but I'm still brainwashed enough to be like, "Oh, I'm from Texas."
Yeah.
Let's start the weird questions here,
Okay.
because I think I've got the good mixture of people here.
All right.
Do you think at this point, at this juncture of time, do you think Texas could be its own country?
No, absolutely not.
No.
No.
Do you think the South could be its own country?
No.
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 Absolutely not.
Exactly. Jesus
I
Christ.
mean, we've all driven through Mississippi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think Mississippi is going to survive the fucking morph into the Confederacy?
Like,
Absolutely
Mississippi would have to become part of Alabama or Louisiana or whatever is on top of Mississippi.
no matter
Yeah,
what happens,
Arkansas.
Mississippi is just going to be
Arkansas.
corn. That's all it's going to be. Corn and tunica. That's it.
not. And bad
Tunica.
roads. Terrible, terrible
Oh my
roads.
God.
Like,
Have you ever been to the Delta of Mississippi? Either of you?
I've never been
No.
to the Delta. I've only ever driven through like Corinth.
Imagine your worst experience here in Alabama as it's most humid, sweaty fucking summer.
I'm upset right now.
And multiply that by like 1 billion, and that's the goddamn Delta.
Why?
Wow.
Yeah.
Why?
My sister used to teach out there for Teach for America.
Yes, yes,
and
yes, yes.
her car broke down. I had to go help her. And Jesus Christ, my arm was covered in mosquitoes.
Oh God.
Yeah.
There was one year, it was like 2 or 3 years ago now, where Texas had like way more rain than they used
Yeah,
to.
I know what you're talking about.
And that summer we went there because we were having a family reunion. How fucking southern of us.
Hey.
But we were having a family reunion, and it was the same year that Texas got like 100% more rain than what they usually get. And the mosquitoes, I shit you not, they say everything's bigger in Texas. I saw a mosquito that was this fucking big, and nobody
God.
Yeah.
in the podcast can see this. It's about the size of a half fucking dollar. I'm not talking about the giant mosquito hawks. It was a mosquito.
That's insane.
You're talking about like a male mosquito too. The one that's gonna
Yeah.
bite your ass.
Wait, I
Nope.
thought the female mosquitoes bit you.
No, female mosquitoes are the big ones that don't fuck with you.
Oh.
Those smaller ones are male and they fuck with
Yeah,
you.
no, those were
Yeah.
I slapped a mosquito off of me, and I thought I was bleeding because the male mosquito had already fed a little bit, and it was like full of blood. And I slapped myself, and I was like, "Oh shit,
Okay.
I'm bleeding!" And then I wiped it off, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm not,"
Yeah. You see,
because the mosquito I slapped was full of fucking blood already.
Gross.
you ever get drunk?
So
and-
now I have hepatitis.
You already had hepatitis. Don't lie to me.
Oh shit, you're right.
Do you ever get like pretty like good and lit and sit outside for a while, and then a mosquito does that to you?
Oh,
And
yeah.
then it gets
Oh,
lit.
it's-
Yeah. And then you're like,
yeah,
hey,
and then that mosquito
you're
is
welcome.
fucked up.
Yeah.
And then you see like a mosquito with like a red and blue lights just flash and chase that other one
Yeah.
because it's getting
And
an
then that mosquito
FWI.
spends like the night in jail, but then it has to deal with all these court dates and like a huge fine. It loses its license for a while.
Its life
I
just
think
gets
we've all
ruined.
been there. Yeah. No, yeah, I'm very familiar with that. It's sad to see a mosquito go through that because they lose their job and then their family starves. Shouldn't
Yeah.
have gotten drunk.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
shouldn't have gotten drunk, Ben.
Thing before
You
you
should have
fly.
thought about that mosquito.
I was sitting out back under the nook where there was no one. I didn't have to drive
Okay,
or even
hold on.
walk.
Here's a southern saying. I was sitting out. Hold on, I'm going to try to do your accent.
Do it in that voice. Come on, you can do it.
Hold on, let me channel Ben. All right. Okay.
Get off this channel, man. I'm right here, man.
I was sitting out back next to the nook.
Now under the nook.
Under
Come
the
on,
nook.
Under the nook.
I
Come
was
on
sitting
now.
under a cherry tree I had a fifth of whiskey. I had a guitar.
Okay, wait.
My love had just left me.
Is
A
the
pickup
nook,
truck was right here.
is the nook
Yeah, what
what
is
you
the
call
nook,
that
Ben?
concrete area on your back porch?
Yeah, covered in tin.
You call that the nook?
Yeah, it's the nook, man.
The nook is a craft beer bar on Bob Wallace Avenue. That's what I call the nook.
I call the nook like, I mean, I guess I'm thinking like nooks and crannies.
Yeah, a nook is like Tom Nook. He's a raccoon, and he'll extort you for every bell you're worth.
And he's
to
got
pay for
giant
your house.
balls.
Yeah, he's a tanuki.
Covered it by an apron.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm making an Animal Crossing joke.
Yes,
Boom.
I got there. Eventually.
But yeah, the nook is called the nook for several reasons. I don't know. We would have to cut it for me to explain everything. So
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
going to.
I'll figure out what we have to cut
Okay.
when I'm sober.
All right. So the nook
You're
is
gonna miss me when I'm gone.
It's essentially what we call my back porch.
Do.
It's got this tin roof
Yeah.
with this mosquito net front, and then to the side is this about 10 or 12 foot fence that is built in such a way if you're not looking at the right angle, you can't see through.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is a few years ago when my health problems flared up real goddamn bad,
Yeah.
I would smoke a bunch of fucking weed
Oh,
and then go back inside and fall the fuck to sleep.
nice.
Yeah.
So back in the old country,
The old country of Hartzell.
the whole country
Is that
of
why
Hartselle,
privacy
Alabama.
fences were invented?
Yeah, for weed
There
smoking.
was
Yeah.
so I have a mosquito net that I put up
Well, they weren't.
for the mosquitoes.
It won't catch mosquitoes because
Doesn't it keep? Isn't it supposed to keep them out?
no.
Yeah,
well, I only
they
call
just
Point.
I
it
call
doesn't catch them, but they can't pass through them.
yeah, but it's only 3/4 of or 1/4 of the 3/4 is covered by the mosquito net.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a smart mosquito can just over
Yeah.
the side, and then it's
Yeah.
like it's gotcha.
Yep.
It's gotcha.
Or a dumb mosquito can just be like, nope, 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 nope. Oh, here we go.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's appropriate that we're talking about bugs today, y'all.
Is it?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
the episode is called
'cause
Bugs.
the episode is called
Oh,
Bugs.
it's called Bugs?
And guess what?
What?
It deals with bugs.
Oh, shit.
There's bugs in the episode.
Ugh.
This honestly, this might be the scariest episode of Supernatural for me because
Really?
of that.
I thought it was Wendigo.
Wendigo is pretty scary.
Yeah.
Because of that jump scare. This one's just scared because of bugs. Now,
Just bugs in general.
with the information provided, what do you think is going to happen, Travis?
All
No,
right,
we're not
so-
there yet.
Oh,
We're not there
goddamn.
yet?
We haven't
Oh,
gone
fuck.
through the majority of our.
Oh, yeah.
We're
yeah,
not
yeah.
there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're only at 20 minutes.
Were you so drunk you were just like, I thought we've had an hour conversation already?
I mean,
Almost.
kind of.
So, Ari,
Yeah?
what did you do this week?
Well, I got fired from my job.
Oh,
It's all right. It's fine. I'm really not mad about it. Like I
Yeah.
had a very like
You've been seeing it coming for like
I've been seeing
A
it.
year.
I've been seeing the writing on the wall. Yeah.
for a
It had-
long
well,
time.
yeah.
But it's good. I was trying to like leave anyway, so this just kind of puts a fire
Yeah,
under my
you've
ass.
been,
to go
you've
do
been
the
looking
job.
for a job since like before we moved in together.
So I've pretty much been watching anime and applying for jobs and playing Skyrim. So
Yeah,
not a whole lot different from what I did last week.
pretty much.
Honestly, but it's good. I watched this really great series from this guy named Digibro
Ooh, what
called
series?
Asterisk War Sucks. It's on YouTube. Just go check it out if you're like into anime and storytelling and motifs and shit.
That's cool.
It's like a 13-part series about why he hates this one show, but he like goes into it.
I
And
mean,
it's
it
not
is
just
in
about
depth.
it's not just about why he hates that particular show. It's why he hates lazy storytelling.
What series does he hate?
The Asterisk Wars,
Oh,
which
I
is
don't-
a new anime.
From
Like I think
who?
it just came out this past year.
like
And it's about so basically the series in itself is about this kid. It's set in the near future, right? And it's about this kid who goes to this school to look for his sister, who the viewer in like the first 5 minutes of the episode, the viewer already knows that the sister's dead.
yeah.
She died fighting this fight with this dude, and we're like, oh, we don't know why or when.
It's a trope I don't necessarily hate, but yeah.
Guy goes to look for his dead sister.
Yeah.
No, that's a solid setup to a
Yeah.
story. The problem for me, like, because there are great stories with like great premises, and the problem isn't that it's a bad premise. The problem is that it's not executed well.
It's a problem
9
with,
times out of 10.
it's a problem with 9 times out of 10 most fucking things.
Yeah, the Asterisk War, because the premise, there's nothing wrong with the premise, and in fact, it's not a super complicated premise. It's very common for anime, where like he's a fighter, and he goes to join these fights.
Yeah.
And he like his whole life is surrounded by that. He goes to school to be a fighter. He is trying to find out what happened to his sister, and he wants to protect these friends he made along the way.
Yeah.
And there's magic involved and swords and shit. There's nothing like that's not the problem. The problem is the execution is bad.
Yeah.
The characters aren't very compelling. The magic's not interesting or well thought out.
The problem is never that you swing the bat. The problem is the fact of how you swing the bat.
Exactly, yeah. I'm trying to think of something else with like what I think is a truly awesome premise, but is just wasted.
Inuyasha, like we were talking about
Oh,
earlier.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Inuyasha, Ben and I were both talking about because that is a show that like we both loved when we were kids.
Yeah, when I was little, I watched up until Momokun? What the fuck was his name?
I don't fucking know.
The dude with the hole in the hand who could suck up enemies. That motherfucker.
Moroku.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And
dude
we were
was,
talking about how like we go back and we look at that and we're just like that's not very good. Not a very good anime.
well, the problem is that I never watched past his story arc, the beginning of his story arc.
It was very long too. Yeah.
It also
It's
had
got
the
like
problem.
500 episodes.
Yeah, like at DBZ. Like every fucking fight was 5 episodes.
Yep.
2.5 hours is way too fucking long for a fight. I mean, damn.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
premise of Inuyasha is pretty compelling. It's about this girl who, falls down a magical well in her backyard, and she ends up 500 years in the past, where she meets this half demon, and they go on a journey together to like put together this sacred jewel. Like, there's nothing wrong with that premise. It's just the execution is not very good.
Well, it's kind of like what Final Fantasy, the Mystic Quest, that like the first Final Fantasy the West got, it's a very basic Final Fantasy game. In
Yeah.
the fact that it's just too basic.
Yeah.
Very much like Inuyasha. But then you get like what Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3 that were actually really fucking good. But then the Final Fantasy quest keeps going. It gets better over time, much like animes.
Well,
But there's that certain pocket of the 90s where it's fucking good and then it just drops off.
here's have you guys ever had something? And I have an example if you guys want to think about it for a while. But if you guys ever had something that like you hear about it, you read the blurb, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to love this because it has everything that I like. It's got like a cool protagonist, it's a cool premise, a setup that's interesting. And then you read it or you watch it or whatever, and you're just like, oh, never mind.
Attack on Titan.
Yes.
Talk about what it was.
I mean, like, Attack on Titan was a thing. It was like there was this society of like the last humans in existence, and there were these monsters that were trying to eat them. So they built these giant walls to keep these monsters out. And then all of a sudden, the monsters are able to destroy the wall and get back in. And the protagonist is like, I want to destroy the Titans because they killed my mother. Shit like that. And then the execution of it just got boring after a while. I just got tired of it. Like, it was a similar, if you watch the Digibro Asterisk Wars thing, he talks about how a protagonist can get boring because they get too powerful.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened with this. Is like the main character got too powerful and it was too good, and it was like, well, now what?
Yeah.
We can't go past this point because where is there to go?
Well, that sounds like bad in-game content for a game. Like you
Yeah.
get too powerful and you were like, well, fuck, I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
Let's just stop.
I'm already too good.
Yeah. Like,
All right, did I not make the coffee good enough? You put too much glue in it?
in the
I did that too.
in the opposite direction.
I'm just suffering through it because I'm a strong person.
Yeah. You and me both. See, I like coffee that you feel like as soon as you drink it, like, oh
yeah.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, y'all drink Death Wish at work, right?
Oh, we drink Death Wish, and I make it extra goddamn strong. You can feel that shit in your teeth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did I tell you about the first time I tried Death Wish?
No.
Where's my cup? Is my banana cup in there? You know my
I
banana
know what you're
cup.
doing. They're not gonna see it, so just tell me.
Okay,
about
well, I
We'll put a picture of the banana cup
We'll
up
put a
in the
picture
show
of the
notes.
banana cup in the show notes.
You know, like
write that down, Ari.
I'm writing it down.
Okay.
I'll just explain it. You know, like a Yeti thermos,
Yeah,
like a little coffee cup.
like a 32-ounce Yeti thermos.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
The very first time.
With a sticker of a banana on it. That's what makes
Yeah.
it the banana cup.
Over the Yeti.
It's actually an Arctic cup, not a Yeti. So I'm not.
All right,
I'm
we're
not basic.
sorry.
I'm sorry, Travis. So tell me about the first time you got way too high
Yeah,
on
we're getting
coffee
really off
and
topic.
worked.
So
But
let's
no, it
chat
wasn't the
about
first
this.
time I got way too high in coffee. It was the first time I tried Death Wish. Is our boss?
Death Wish is amazing.
Yeah, our boss bought Death Wish for the very first time.
Yeah.
Sent it to the store, and we made a pot, and I filled up my banana cup with Death Wish coffee and drank the whole thing in less than 20 minutes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Mistakes.
And
Yeah.
for the rest of the day, I felt like there were bees in my head.
Oh my god.
I felt my teeth vibrating.
Oh my god.
I could not stop blinking.
I don't know if you guys have ever done uppers, but sweet Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it
That's
is
what
the-
Death Wish is.
It
It's
is the
upper-
mother of all uppers.
Yup.
If you need to stay awake for 3 days and you don't want to try meth,
I don't know if you,
buy some Death Wish coffee. This is not an ad, by the way.
Well, meth is a hell of a drug, so I think I'll stick with the meth.
no. Death Wish is a hell of a fucking drug. If you-
Like, Ari, after my next payday, I'm going to buy some Death Wish.
oh, it's so good.
Let's try it for the podcast.
Yeah.
You ever watched like Futurama like all the way through?
Yeah.
You know that episode of Futurama where Fry drinks 100 cups of coffee?
Yes.
It's exactly like that.
Yup, that 100 cup. That's
Oh my
what Death
God.
Wish
100th
is.
cup. That's what it is. It's the 100th cup of coffee.
You will see sounds and smell colors, and
my
it's
God.
amazing.
I already smell colors, but that's different. That's not because of coffee. That's,
Yeah, you have
that's a
synesthesia.
different thingy.
But to bring this back to the question that you had about
Right.
something.
Because I really want to talk about mine, but continue.
All right, so there's this PS2 game
Uh-huh.
that is a Yu Yu Hakusho game.
Oh,
What?
shit.
It's
Oh,
Yu,
shit.
It's a Yu Yu Hakusho the Dark Tournament.
Oh my god.
Now I have not played it since I was like 12 years old, so that's
Sure.
like 14 years ago. But it was just way too complicated and way too everything
Yeah.
to really grasp or anything like
Well,
that.
that's such a shame because I kind of wanted to play it.
I loved that show when I was a kid. Now that being said, it may be worth revisiting because at this age I'm a lot better at fighting games.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I mean, if we can find a copy of it, we can set my PS2 up.
yeah, we can find a
I can
copy
get
of it.
I can beat. I can get my PS2 and we can set it up.
Let's rock and roll, baby.
do it.
Okay.
But yeah, it had it had the original like your main four. Then
Yeah.
it had the Taguro brothers. It had most people from the Dark Tournament.
Also, let me just say this: you were a fan of Yu Yu Hakusho when you were a kid.
I
Excuse
still
you,
am.
Sir.
I'm a
You are
huge fan of
You're a
my
fucking
age,
weeb,
man.
and we all know it.
I'm a fan of Yu Yu Hakusho now.
It's like Yu Yu
Yeah, we brought
Hakusho.
Travis into our cult.
Sajura is my favorite character.
It's like what?
Shizuru, but close.
Sajuru.
Yeah,
I was saying that wrong for like all day, and you
I
were
know.
not
and
correcting
I never corrected
me.
you. I was amused by it.
Sajura
I enjoyed it.
is my favorite character.
She's pretty great.
The best.
When it comes to like animes, I'm a fan of Yu Yu Hakusho, Cowboy Bebop, and Full Metal Alchemist, and it's about it.
Oh man, I could introduce you.
Those
Yeah.
are the ones I've seen all the way through.
You gotta watch Trigun, man.
I've tried. I just don't like. I don't like the main
You
character
need
that
to
much.
watch some Satoshi Kon anime
Oh,
because
no,
I
it-
feel like you'd be into it.
I love Lupin the Third. I've only
That's
seen
not
like
Lupin the Third.
I've
but
seen like a few
good
hours
choice.
of it, but I fucking love it.
I feel like Travis and I have some anime that we could introduce you to that you really like.
Oh, absolutely.
Probably, but like I said, like last week, I treat anime like porn. I don't watch it when my parents are home.
That's why you have us. We'll watch it in front of our cats. We don't care.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck.
Ducky, you're gonna have to deal with the fact that your mom's a fucking weeb.
Ducky, your mom is a weeb, so now you're a weeb.
You're a weeb and you're gonna like it. Ducky's
Weeb-
a fan of magical girl anime because she is a magical girl.
This is
Ducky is a weeblet.
this is a culmination of all our jokes.
It really is. It really is. It is. I have a joke about this exactly.
Oh my god. All right, can I
so-
talk about mine now?
Let's
Yeah,
talk about
what's
your
yours?
thing.
All
man.
right. So I actually have two now.
Oh.
So the first one relates back to Yu Yu Hakusho. It's the Yu Yu Hakusho movie, The Poltergeist Report.
All roads lead back to YYH.
Which, by the way, Yu Hakusho means Poltergeist Report.
Yeah.
So Poltergeist Report, the movie, is just Poltergeist Report, Poltergeist Report, which is dumb. It's a dumb title, guys.
That's translations for
But
you,
it is
man.
okay, so just a couple of things. Shonen movies are never very good because they have nothing to do with the main story.
Right.
They're just like, hey, do you want to see? It's basically fan fiction,
Yep.
which can be great, but it never is.
Nope.
It never, the shonen movies never are. Fan fiction can be good. Shonen movies are never good.
God, no.
Because it's literally just, here are these characters you love doing fuck all things they normally do.
Yeah.
It is the only property that is not dubbed by Fanimation. It is dubbed by Central Park Media.
Is this the one? Is this the one?
Oh
where it's,
no!
Yeah.
That's from New York, isn't it?
It is.
Oh no!
It's a terrible. I actually, you know what? I might need to correct.
Is this the one where it's all differently colored and shit?
Yeah, it looks fucking weird.
Oh god,
Like,
this is
the
the one I tried to
animation-
watch.
The
Oh,
animation is not bad.
the color is
The coloring is really
because it
bad.
doesn't look like the fucking show.
No, it looks nothing like it.
Oh, it's so
It's-
bad.
It's real bad, y'all.
This is like.
So
if you-
was a different production company in charge of the movie?
to put this in
No,
perspective
same company. They just wasn't licensed by Funimation.
for people,
So why was the color different?
to put this in
I
perspective,
guess to differentiate it from the show.
I have no idea. I could not tell you.
to put this in perspective for people who don't watch anime, this is like watching every other Adam Sandler movie, and then watching Little Nicky.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good metaphor.
or no.
So-
Spanglish is still good.
The Funimation dub is great.
Yeah.
It is one of the few anime that I'm like, you have to watch the dub over the sub.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That very rarely happens. In fact, there's only two that I can think of.
Is Yu Yu Hakusho and
Yu
Cowboy
Hakusho and
Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop are the only two that I'm like, but you gotta watch the dub.
I would throw.
I'd put Trigun in there.
I would put Full Metal Alchemist in there too.
Both are super great dubs. But I think that like what makes Cowboy Bebop and Yu Yu Hakusho different for me, well, Cowboy Bebop is just like
Perfect.
excellent.
Cowboy
the voice
Bebop
actors
is
are
way
great.
more westernized anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Yu Yu Hakusho, which isn't a very westerny story, it has a lot to do with like Japanese culture and stuff. You know, some of which that I don't even understand because I haven't been inundated with it.
What are some things you don't understand from the Yu Yu Hakusho universe like that? I'm very curious.
I can't really think of any right now.
Is it like how the Japanese middle schools and shit? Because that's the
No,
one thing I
I'm pretty
can't
much-
really
Well,
see. I really agree that for the West, that's something we should adopt. Is that smart kids go to the smart school and dumb kids go to your like engineering schools?
The trade.
we already have
That's
that. I
what
don't see
trade
the
schools
problem
are for,
is.
Benjamin.
Yeah, there are smart people in trade schools. Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all are
I'm sorry. I just wanted to make that
drunk.
joke.
That's what's happening.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But basically, so the movie is fuck all to do with the main story,
Much
which
like
again,
every other.
yeah, which again is just like a shonen movie problem. But the dub is fucking terrible. Which isn't a problem if you enjoy the subs, but it just doesn't add anything. It's just not very good. But I love the original, series. So
Have you seen Cowboy Bebop the movie?
no, but I've actually heard it's pretty good.
Fucking really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically just a long episode.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Which Yu Yu Hakusho
It's
actually
a
has
long
another.
episode. The Cowboy Bebop movie is a long episode with a substantially higher animation budget.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And music quality. Oh,
I've heard it's
fuck, I love
great,
the
yeah.
intro music.
I have it.
We should watch it.
Not on my computer, on DVD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to fucking watch that. It's
I
fucking
haven't
good.
seen it, and I really want to watch it. And also, Yu Yu Hakusho has another movie
It has
that
like
is
2 or
basically
3, right?
like,
It does.
yeah, 2, I think. And which is basically just like a longer episode, and I kind of want to watch that one as well because it is
Yeah.
licensed by Funimation, and
Nice.
Oh,
that's really a deal
shit.
breaker for me. Like if I just I've watched the sub version and it's fine, but the dub is just really special because Funimation was playing a little fast and loose with their translations,
Yeah.
and they just made it hilarious.
It's
It
really
is
funny.
so funny.
It's really funny.
It is really funny. Okay, now I'm going to get to my second one, which was the
Okay.
one I thought of first until you mentioned Yu Yu Hakusho. I hate Mercedes Lackey.
What is that?
She is
Don't know what that is.
an
I thought you were-
author. She writes primarily fantasy novels. So here's what I should like. Here I should like this.
Yeah.
She writes fantasy novels, usually starring women.
Yep.
She has had canon gay characters in her works. She has an entire series dedicated to rewriting fairy tales, which is something that I love.
Yeah.
One of my favorite books of all time is basically just a rewritten, updated fairy tale.
Nice.
Vaguely updated. It's not really updated
What
because
book
it's
is
still
that?
high fantasy. It's called Deerskin by Robin McKinley. It is a rewrite of the French fairy tale Donkey Skin, and it is amazing. Go check it out.
Check it out from my local library.
But Mercedes Lackey suffers from one very fatal flaw.
What's that?
She is a bad writer.
Oh, no!
So it has all these things I love. Great female protagonists. It's a fantasy. They're fantasy books. But not just high fantasy. She's got some not urban, but set in the 1800s fantasy.
Yeah.
Her series that's based off of just rewrites of fairy tales. It's called the Elemental series because it's about these people who have powers. And those are all tropes that I really love. They're all really interesting to me, and I would read. If somebody wrote 1,000 Deerskin type books, I would read them. I love that type, that rewriting of fairy tales. I just love it. But Mercedes Lackey is such a bad writer that I just cannot read her books. And the thing is that I read 4 or 5 of them just to see if it was a persisting problem.
Wow.
I have a series of hers on my bookshelf right now.
That's a lot of books to read. I would.
Well, I got them from the library, so it was free.
Oh, okay. I would be done with an author after 2 books.
Here's what happened. Here's what happens that's the main problem, at least for me. Because, yes, her writing isn't great and her dialogue doesn't sparkle, but here's the main problem for me. And I'm actually going to take an example from her version of Deerskin, her version of the Donkey Skin rewrite. So, I'm not going to go through what what Deerskin actually, or what Donkey Skin is. If you want to check it out, it's a super fucked up fairy tale. There's a great movie from the 70s. In all its 70s glory. It's a musical. Check it out. It's called the French version. It's a French movie. It's called Podun. It's fucking great.
How do you spell
for
that?
an acid trip. PEAU''DANNE. I'm pretty sure.
I would not have guessed that. I'll be honest.
It's French, man.
I don't know how to spell French words.
The main I took French for 6 years, so I think I'm enough of an authority to say this. French is they just like to add in more letters.
Yeah.
Fuck
It's just
yeah,
all
they
letters,
do.
and you only pronounce half of them.
All right.
Isn't that what most of what England and France were at war about? Was how to say the word apple?
Probably.
Fucking palm.
I met a dude yesterday.
Yeah.
His last name was spelt Fuggget. How do you pronounce that last name?
Fouquet.
Fuck it.
Ari's closer.
Oh my god,
really?
how?
Yeah, it's pronounced like a nougat. Fougat.
Oh my
Fougat?
god.
Fougat. Because I thought it was pronounced Fugget.
Okay, I can see it.
Yeah.
Honestly, that would be an amazing name.
No,
I'd be my name's Fugget.
you could guess what his nickname in high school was. I'm
Fuck
not
it.
going to say it. No, good guess, though.
So,
Chicken McNugget?
that's the innocent nickname.
Yeah.
It is.
So basically,
I like how Ari got it, just rolled over it.
her Donkey Skin, which I don't know if I can remember what it's called. Please don't make me. Basically, it's about this young girl who lives with her father on an estate, and she's got goddamn magic powers.
Magic power.
Specifically in the
Goddamn
form of
magic powers.
earth and plants and all that jazz. Okay, she's an
Nice.
earth elemental.
I like it.
Her dad is a necromancer and wants to use her body to raise her mother from the dead.
Oh.
Jesus.
Yes. She
Oh.
finds out about this plan and runs away. Oh, also, World War I is happening.
Fuck.
Oh, shit.
Okay? So, great fucking premise, right?
Yeah.
Girl finds out her dad wants her for nefarious reasons, runs off, joins this other estate. It's all set in England, by the way. She joins this other estate. They don't know who she is. There's a mystery aspect. She's falling in love with the Lord's son. Isn't that kind of cool?
It is.
Yeah.
So here's the problem.
What's the problem?
Mercedes Lackey will set up these high tension, high risk, great reward scenarios. and then make it easy. Like, okay, they don't know who this girl is, the donkey skin girl. I'm going to call her donkey skin because that's what she's called in the original fairy tale. The donkey skin girl, they don't know who she is. She's just this mysterious girl who showed up. She's working for the castle now. Well, they are like, oh, this girl's kind of suspicious. And also, this lord's daughter went away. Maybe that's the girl. In any normal book or movie or whatever, that mystery would kind of build up.
Right.
And they would be like, oh, what's happening? Is this nefarious? Is she a good guy? What's going on? Basically, they're just like, hey, are you that chick? And she's like, yeah, I totally am that chick.
Damn.
And all the tension is gone. And the payoff is much less because the characters didn't have to work for anything. She made it easy. And that's a huge problem with everything I've ever written from her. She makes it easy. It's like she presses a Staples button and then it's fucking taken care of.
That was easy.
Yeah, basically. So that's why I don't like Mercedes Lackey, even though I really should.
But to offer a better version of classic Grimm, because I'm guessing it's very much like the Grimm's fairy tales, correct?
So she has tons of different rewrites. She has like a toy soldier book, like the tin soldier.
Yeah.
Listen, children, to the story.
That was written long ago. Okay, so backstory behind this. I don't know why I know the entirety of One Tin Soldier, but I have that song memorized. I could sing it from beginning to end right now, verses, choruses, everything.
That's how
Please don't.
I won't.
That's how I am with Foreigner, man.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how I know this song, but I know it.
Foreigner, I don't even know her.
Whopper
Good
with
one.
cheese, I barely know her.
Oh my god.
But
That's my favorite joke, by the way.
But to pull this back,
Yeah.
some
Grimm's fairy tales, so yeah.
better versions of, well, not better versions, but good retellings of Grimm's fairy tales. There's this collection by Dark Horse called Noir, like Noir.
Like film noir.
Exactly.
Like LA noir.
Yes.
Like noir.
Yes.
We got it, Travis. Thank
But
you.
yeah, it's this collection. It's like a good, like if you read a bunch of graphic novels, it's a novella essentially of like graphic novels. It's great. It retells, I think, Batman and then a bunch of other, well, I won't say other Grimm fairy tales, but classic tales.
Yeah.
Are just fucking good in this story.
I'll have to check it out.
Oh, I have it if you want to borrow it.
Because I would love that. Because I do. I really do. Like, Robin McKinley, has written several rewrites of classic fairy tales. Obviously, I mentioned Deerskin, which is based off Baudin, but she also has a Sleeping Beauty one. She's got two versions of Beauty and the Beast.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like, the woman has just, made her bread and butter off of rewriting fairy tales. So,
I mean,
do
there's
love
nothing
that.
wrong with that.
No,
yeah.
not at all. I
That's a
mean,
good bread
I
and
love
butter.
it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
If you can do it well, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I think we were talking about a couple weeks ago how we really love Well, Brother, Where Art Thou, which is just a retelling of the Odyssey.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the big thing. English is a living language.
yeah.
And to bring old stories to the new, you have to tell them in the new version of the language.
Exactly.
Oh, for sure.
Which, even though Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is very set
It's set in the 1930s.
with a very southern language, but it's set more like a 1980s, 1990s kind of southern.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
It's I think when you're creating a period piece, which is just
They're like
any piece that is not made in the decade.
Any
it's set
piece
in.
by the Coen
and,
brothers.
like I mean, whenever you're making a period piece, anachronism is inevitable.
Yeah.
Yes, but I think that's a good thing.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with viewing, because whenever you make a period piece or you're watching a period piece, you have to think, okay, this is set through the lens of the person who is creating it. This is how they see this time period.
Absolutely.
So you've got somebody like, okay, Forrest Gump. That's set through the director's lens. Who directed Forrest Gump?
I
Rob
don't know.
Reiner or
When did that
something?
movie
Let's
come out?
find out.
The 90s.
The 90s. So it's set through like a lens of the 90s.
It's set through that director's lens.
Yeah.
And he has a very rosy view of the past.
Yeah, he does.
He goes through major historical events, and he does include like the civil rights era and the Vietnam War, two very, like dark periods in American history.
Yeah.
But he basically rewrites it so that this white main character always comes out on top. And it's just interesting to view history through that lens.
Yeah.
But you have to remember that you are viewing it through a lens. This isn't an actual representation.
Yeah.
Even in like way back in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar play,
Right.
there's a line about a bell tower chiming.
Yeah.
And there were no bell towers in ancient Rome, as far as I know.
I don't know either.
I mean, maybe the ancient Romans were like super crazy.
they had bathhouses, I'll
Yeah.
tell you that.
But yeah, they did.
Were you
But,
asking? What were you saying?
But yeah, like even in a Shakespeare play, anachronism is prevalent because
Right.
there were no bell towers in ancient Rome.
No.
And there's this line about a bell tower chiming. So
Well,
so
this
it's
is
again like ancient Rome through the lens of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. Like, it doesn't take away my enjoyment of Julius Caesar.
Absolutely.
You know, I still enjoy.
I love hearing about a dude that got stabbed 13 times in the chest.
Yeah.
It's great. I love that.
Well, to make this a little bit more modern, like the Scarlet Letter through the lens
Of the
Easy
movie Easy A?
Yeah,
Yeah.
is very much that.
Absolutely.
Where
Yeah.
it puts because the Scarlet Letter. I mean, Nathaniel Hawthorne, who we're actually going to be talking about later.
That's why I
shit.
mentioned that.
Oh
Yay.
shit! Oh shit!
Oh, shit, baby!
Uh,
Shook off my headphones.
Yeah,
Damn.
spoiler alert. The second half of this podcast is going to be in part dedicated to an English lecture. And they said I would never use my degree.
We're sorry in advance.
Yeah. Just get prepared for that.
Strap the fuck in.
But Nathaniel Hawthorne, you know, he definitely had his beef with the Puritans, and part of the Scarlet Letter is condemning the Puritans for how they treated, you know, unmarried pregnant women.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
it doesn't really come down on the side of Hester either.
No.
It's not pro women by any means.
It's like pro.
And Easy A flips the script.
Yeah.
Yep.
But even the Scarlet Letter, because, yeah, Nathaniel Hawthorne did, like, live in old-timey periods, but he wasn't really a Puritan. He was just descended from Puritans.
Yeah. He was just a dude.
Yep,
He was a dude with a cool hat, probably some buckles on his shoes.
probably.
Yeah.
Well, and even, like, we use the telling of period pieces to discuss, like, topics that we can't discuss in, you know,
Podcast format.
well, what I was saying, like, okay, so talking about the Puritans and Nathaniel Hawthorne, The Crucible, right?
Yeah.
The one play everybody had to read in high school that we all hated.
Well, there's more that we hated than just the Crucible.
Yes, but that's the one that I feel
That's-
like
that's
it
the number
connects
one-
us. It keeps us together.
That's the number one from east to west, north to south that we
Yes.
all read and fucking hated.
Yes, but The Crucible was Arthur Miller writing about the dangers of McCarthyism through the lens of the Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't write about McCarthy. So we use period pieces to, you know, compare it to our current times as well. Same with Inherit the Wind. Inherit the Wind, which is a movie that I've already mentioned. It's fucking great. Go watch it. It is a dramatization of the Scopes Monkey trial that was written in I don't actually remember when the play was written, but the movie came out in the 50s and 60s.
That's the play that I hated in high school.
You hated Inherit the Wind?
Yeah, because I went to a
love Inherit
Christian
the
high
Wind.
school.
Oh, so they were like, yeah, these guys are the bad guys.
Exactly.
Henry Drummond, fuck him.
Yeah, see, I read The Crucible too, and I was
Why
like,
would you
okay.
ever teach Inherit the Wind in a Christian high school if you were going to come down on the creationists?
I had we didn't come down on the creationist, but I did have a pretty cool English teacher.
Oh, rock on.
Yeah.
If I had to teach that play and be like, but seriously, everyone needs to be a creationist, I would not teach that play. I'd be like, let's choose a different play.
Yeah.
Let's watch, I don't know, God's Not Dead Instead, which is kind of boring. And we can discuss that.
It's Inherit
I
the
live
Wind
in a
Part 3.
bubble. Yeah. Fucking,
Ari, I know I've told you this before, but when the first God's Not Dead movie came out, at the time, I was a musician.
Yeah.
I was looking for gigs. I was playing.
oh, you are a musician, buddy. Don't believe in yourself.
Is
thanks.
World War and a win.
Believe in me who believes in you.
Oh, thank
Damn
you.
right.
I did all the music for the podcast, so I guess so.
Oh, you're in a band.
You humble motherfucker.
Yeah.
But-
you play ukulele and bass.
I guess so.
You slick fuck.
But at the time that the first God's Not Dead movie came out, I was playing bass for a Christian a Christian college organization.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Continue.
Exactly. Like, I mean, I feel like it's where I needed to be at the time. But past that, when that movie came out, I got 13 text messages
Oh my God.
that said,
You did tell me this. I forgot about it though.
God's not dead.
Oof. Oof.
And I was just like, okay, I get it. Why did all of you need to text me that? Why couldn't one of you made a group message? Because we all know each other.
Yeah.
We all know each other. Why can't we just make one group message that just says that, and then we can all be like, hey, thumbs up. Here's a picture of a banana. It's cool.
God might not be dead, but
But my
mass
fucking
text,
data sure is.
text messaging is. Who, buddy? I remember the first time I saw the God's Not Dead trailer, and I was just like, guys, you gotta come watch this trailer. To my roommates at the time, I was like, it's fucking nuts. It's their version of Inherent the Wind, except Inherent the Wind is a lot better. Because it doesn't come down against religion. It comes down against people who want to control what other people think. Come watch it, guys.
I didn't even know that movie was coming out. I just got like a whole bunch of text that said God's Not Dead. So I Googled it, and I was like, oh, I guess it's a fucking movie.
It is it was a very popular movie, too.
Yeah, with Ray Wise
They're
in
making
it.
a third one. No, Ray Wise isn't until the second one.
Oh, he's in the second one.
Yes.
Okay.
Shout out to Ray Wise.
Is
He's
Ray
fucking
Wise
great.
going to be in the third one?
I don't think so.
Ray Wise was in an episode of Adam's Ruin Everything, and that threw me off.
Really?
Yeah. It was an episode about like TV and shit like that, and Ray Wise actually did a tiny blurb about Netflix.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, Ray Wise is here.
He's the guy from Twin Peaks, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ray Wise is
dude-
legitimately a
dude
fantastic actor.
From Twin
He's
Peaks.
fucking good.
Yeah.
From How I Met Your Mother. Amazing actor.
He's from Psych.
yeah,
and
he's in Psych.
I don't remember what the show's called, but it's a show where he plays the devil basically, and he's fucking great.
Twin Peaks.
No, not that. Wow, spoilers for Twin Peaks, Travis.
Boom.
Also, no, not Twin Peaks.
But no, he was in the most recent episode of Tim and Eric's like story.
Oh, really?
Oh, Tim and
Yeah.
Eric's bedtime stories.
That thing fucked me up,
Yeah.
man.
He's a great actor, and
Yeah, he's
literally he does
good.
all these like Christian movies. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but the thing is that like whenever he is in a Christian movie, he is without a doubt the best actor on screen.
Oh, 100%.
100% of the time, because it's kind of sad to see his scene partners try to act around him. You know what? No. Whatever he is on screen, period, he is the best actor on screen.
100%.
Like,
Every time.
I love Psych,
Every
and
goddamn
Dule
time.
Hill is an idea that keeps me
Dewey
very warm at
Hill
night.
is a gem.
But when he is on screen with Ray Wise, I'm like, get out of here,
Yeah.
Mr. Hill.
Get the
Mr.
fuck outta
Wise is
here.
on screen. He is acting the shit out of this.
Anytime Ray Wise is on screen, it is only Ray Wise. Nobody else matters anymore.
Ray Wise is the only person who's important.
And another thing, Ray Wise is another like, oh hey, it's like I
It's
mean
that guy,
nowadays it's
yeah.
like, oh hey, it's that guy.
Yeah.
He's another one of those guys. He's another Mark Pellegrino. Yeah.
Mark Pellegrino is really only for me, but
He's
but
for
he is.
all of
Ray
us. Thank
Wise
you
is
very
one
much.
of those guys where like whenever he's on screen, I'm just like, what a treat.
Yeah, what a
What
treat.
a treat. He was
What a
definitely
treat.
I went to go see God's Not Dead 2 in theaters, and he was definitely the best part of that movie.
Now,
He was playing a comically evil atheist. If he
Yeah.
had left a scene being like, now I've got to go stab a puppy's neck, I would not have been surprised.
Now, have you ever seen the Australian Christian film hit
No.
Suing the Devil?
What?
Starring Malcolm McDowell as the
Malcolm
devil.
McDowell is the devil.
Yeah,
I'm
it-
in. You had me at Malcolm McDowell.
So bad. It's so goddamn bad.
We're gonna have to have a very special episode where we talk about bad Christian movies.
Yeah.
We should have
Because-
a episode where we talk about bad movies.
We should. We really should.
We
And all the
combine
bad
both.
Christian movies will be in there.
Yeah. But we'll talk about some secular bad movies too. Christians
Yeah.
don't own the bad movie
Yeah, I mean, they
Man.
definitely don't. I mean, Troll 2 exists.
Yeah.
I would say I would.
The Room.
The Room exists.
I would make the argument that Trolls 2 is a bad Christian movie.
Would you?
Yeah, I could do it too.
I can
Well,
see
yeah,
it.
you can make the argument, but is it a compelling argument?
Actually,
No, I
all right.
actually, as soon as you said that, I was like, okay.
You can see it.
I
All
can
right.
see it.
Okay.
I
Have
can
you ever
see
seen
it.
a telenovela?
What?
Have you ever seen a telenovela?
Yes,
Have you
yes,
ever
yes, yes.
watched Popcorn Popping?
I thought you said okay.
Yeah, high five on that shit. Hell yeah. But yeah,
When
no.
you said a telenovela, what I heard was Attila, like Attila the Hun, Attila novella,
See,
and I
what-
was like, "What are you saying?"
That's
what I
that's
heard
the
was
tequila.
I heard Nutella Ovella, and I was like, yeah, I could go for some Nutella right now.
Me too, man. I need some caffeine.
We
have some coffee?
Yeah, we
But
have
no.
coffee. Actually, we need to boil more water for some coffee.
Yeah, we do. But no, Trolls 2 is written in such a way that the male is written in a like Latin male perspective. The female is written in a Latin female perspective. Then the kid is in a little Latin kid. That's the whole thing.
God!
Exactly.
They're eating
Fucking
her, and then they're gonna eat me.
Nobody pisses on hospitality. Nobody.
You know that guy, the dad in that movie, is
Yes.
a dentist in Alabama now.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
a
really?
documentary called Best Worst Movie, and it's
Yes.
basically about the making of Troll 2. And I can't remember if he's the dad or another character, but he was like, yeah, I left movies and just became a dentist, and now I live in a small town in Alabama.
Oh, that's
That-
We
awesome.
should go
that's-
see him one day or something.
that's
I'm
the-
I'm
kidding.
gonna
He
go
doesn't want
make
to be
him my
bothered.
primary dentist.
That's the best version
live
of
in
those who
Huntsville.
can't teach, and those who can't teach become dentists.
I don't care.
Dentist.
I don't
can't
care
talk.
how
We're a
long I
little
have to
drunk, guys.
drive.
I've had tequila and rum. I've finished my rum drink. Jesus Christ.
Are you gonna start with Kahlua now?
Yes.
Yeah.
As soon as you make more coffee.
Yeah, we'll probably do that during the break.
Cheese pie, cherry pie. Okay.
Do you have any cheese whiz?
Okay. Wait, I want to make something very clear real quick because I hope we have a multi-religious audience.
Yeah.
I
I
want to make this
fucking
very,
hope so.
very clear.
Yeah.
When I say I don't like Christian movies or I don't like bad Christian movies, I'm not trying to shit on Christians.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I do like Christian-themed things like Trigun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Trigun's super religious.
And Harry
it
Potter?
Well, Trigun's more religious than Harry Potter.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
And the difference between, because there's a lot of like anime that borrows religious symbology. It's basically
really
like
does.
cultural appropriation. in that
Trigun
case.
is a big thing in that.
Yeah.
Trigun
That
is
giant.
literally is actually about Christianity.
Trigun is
written by a
massively
Christian.
about Christians.
Yeah. And Trigun's fucking great. I like a lot of gospel music.
Yeah.
It's not bad music. It's just the direction that it's in.
Honestly, there's
Well,
a lot
pop
of
Christian music I think is pretty
yeah.
bad.
There's a
it's
lot of
all
like
derivative.
classic hymns that I really like. They have
Yeah.
Those are
great,
good.
Yeah.
Modern Christian music is terrible.
Yes,
it's all
but
the
a lot of
same
older,
thing.
like,
Yeah,
gospel
as
music?
someone who played bass for churches and Christian organizations that played modern Christian music, it's all terrible.
See,
Yeah.
I feel
But it
this.
has nothing to do with the fact that it's Christian. I think
Yeah.
we've just proven that things can be Christian and good.
Yeah,
The problem
absolutely.
with God's Not Dead is that it's a bad, lazy movie.
Yeah.
It does not do anything to make the characters interesting, or if you're not a Christian, a good person.
You could replace punk or Christian with punk 20 years ago, and it would be the same conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just that
It's the same
it's
chords
not-
over and over again.
It's the same.
Yeah.
The Christian music, it's all. Well, actually,
It's GCD.
if I can take
all
this
day.
tangent for
all
a while,
year.
GCD all day, every day. If I can take this tangent for a minute, though.
I think it's the outro music is GCD. So the intro music is like ADC, something like that. Yeah.
ADC, I'm talking about you. Okay, sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
Easy as 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. I'm
Okay.
singing a lot in this podcast, y'all. On this episode.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't get
I
sued.
need to cut. We need to cut the me
We're not.
singing.
We're not going to cut anything.
No,
We're almost too drunk to do this.
we really are. But if I can take a tangent real quick, my problem with Christian music specifically has to deal because I'm not a musician, so I don't like get into the technicalities of like song crafting.
Right.
But I am a fucking writer, so I can
Damn
talk
right.
about some lyrics.
Yeah. Oh. Ah!
Well,
All
that's
Christian music is about how great life is.
Yeah.
And that is just not. There are some songs about how great life is that are fucking awesome. Uptown Funk, for example.
thanks, you Drake.
Yeah.
That's not Drake.
That's not Drake at all.
Uptown.
That's
Bruno Mars, y'all.
that's Bruno Mars.
What?
It's not even Bruno Mars.
Yeah,
Like
it's
Bruno
not a-
Mars
yeah.
sings that song, but
That's my fault for not
It's-
listening to modern music. I'm
We'll
sorry.
play it for you.
it's
a
someone
great song.
else.
No, it's good. I'm fine.
Mark Pellegrino. I don't
No,
know.
Mark Pellegrino's an actor. We've talked about
It's
him
someone
before.
whose name is Mark.
Yes, Mark Ruffalo. No, another guy.
It's not the Hulk either.
Not the Hulk. It's a different guy.
No, it's the Hulk.
I wish it was the
I
Hulk.
would listen to the Hulk sing Uptown Funk.
Mark Ronson.
Mark Ronson. I knew it started with an R. But the point that we're trying to get at is that things can be Christian and good, but a lot of the Christian movies, at least the ones that I are exposed to, are not good.
Yeah.
Because they're not well written or acted or directed well.
Yeah.
And the music, for me, thematically, it's just all about how great life is because God's there. Or it's about how life sucked, but then they found God and Jesus,
Yeah.
and now it's great again. And that is fine for some songs, but when every song you're putting out is like that, it's just like,
It's just like,
stop. Yeah.
Come on.
It's like, can we write
get
about like some
on with
sadness
it.
now?
No, there was where I went
Like
to
even the Christian songs that sound sad
Or
are
about how great
exactly
everything
like
is,
how
yeah.
what you talked
Yeah.
about.
And
Because the sad part is when life was shitty.
yeah, when I didn't have Jesus in
Yeah.
my life.
See, there was this when I was in high school. I wouldn't say when we were in high school because neither of you went to high school with me.
I mean, we were all in high school around the
Yeah.
same time.
But yeah, we had this thing because I went to a little Christian school.
Yeah.
We had this thing called Bible schedule, and it was usually on Fridays when I was in school. And we would start.
I already love this story.
We would start the day with this this show, as I would call it, because we would start with songs and then we would end with scripture.
Sure.
But there was this one band when I was early in my Christian school campaign, as you will. There were these dudes. They were like 4 years older with me. They had this song that they went with. It went kind of like I like papayas, like bananas are sweet, shit like that. It had this. The lyrics were really cool. They make sense. I'm really drunk, so I can't really do them great right now.
Okay.
I feel you.
But they were great because I like papayas, bananas, they're sweet, and like shit like that. But the culmination of the thing was like Jesus' love is sweet, much like the taste of papayas.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'm like, if you just avoided Jesus, this would be a good song.
Yeah.
Well, that's because it's a bit of a stretch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
isn't
Yeah.
sweet, it's warm.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, love isn't real, so who
yeah,
fucking cares?
it's like a blanket out of the
Oh, God,
dryer.
Travis.
Or
Buddy, you're all right?
vaginas.
Here's the thing.
I
like,
timed that just right, so it wouldn't sound sexist. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's
no,
okay.
it's fine.
we got you there. It's fine.
It's fine. We got it.
I'm
Yeah.
a woman, so basically I get to
tequila.
give you like a pass. that's not how that works. That's not true. That's not true.
I'm drunk and I timed it right. I'm proud of myself.
Oh shit. We're all comedians. Timing is our thing.
Yeah. Oh my God. Do you guys want to hear my dad's favorite joke that is also my favorite dad joke?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Everyone shut up.
No.
Time. Are you going to make more coffee?
Oh my god, is that
Ning is everything.
Oh my god.
Is your dad a clockmaker?
A clocketeer, as I like to call him.
Clocketeer. Oh my god.
It sounds
No,
like
he's not. He's a lawyer.
It's as the Asians would say. That sounds like it'd be a crock of shit.
Oh.
Cut
Oh
that.
my
That was
god.
racist. I'm so
Oh
sorry.
my
It
god.
wasn't racist. It just didn't make sense. It was baffling. You know how like some people have like crazy stereotypes?
Yeah.
Like they're like, yeah, Polish people. They fucking love coconut. I don't get it.
Yeah,
like
I
that's
don't know.
yeah. That's not a real stereotype.
Man, white people love bananas. I
White
don't know
people
what to
love
deal with
bananas
that.
or soup, as we all know is
Yeah,
definitely
white people
true.
love
White
soup.
people love soup.
Ari, what's your favorite soup?
Oh, God, you're putting me on the spot. I have so many to choose from. Chicken and wild rice.
All right,
Bam.
Ben, what's your favorite soup?
I don't have one.
Oh, shit. My favorite soup is chicken noodle soup. Ben is the least white of all of us. Yeah.
Ben's is, I'm going to choose a soup for you now, Ben.
No, I have a few.
Minestrone.
No,
Oh.
that is way wrong.
Okay.
I have a few.
It's
that
my
are-
least favorite, too.
See, I have like a top 3, but I can't pick between.
Okay, the
3.
fact that you have a top 3 soup means you're whiter than both of us.
No, it just
because
mean-
at least we have top 1s.
Yeah, you know when I eat soup when it's cold.
Yeah, it's not cold yet.
Ooh,
No, it's
I also
not.
like butternut squash soup.
No, that's the whitest fucking soup I've heard of.
Why is it
No.
white?
That's
No.
whiter than fucking clam chowder.
Tomato soup is the whitest soup.
How?
No.
Wait,
No, tomato bisque.
guys,
Okay,
stop.
yeah.
Tomato bisque
How are
is
you guys
the whitest
deciding
soup.
this?
I don't know.
It's just all.
Okay.
It's just
It's just a
arbitrary.
feeling.
It's
a
just
feeling that
we
I
have
have.
all had separate conversations with our friend Elliot where we're like, yeah, this is the whitest soup.
All right. You know, like per restaurant, per whatever like meal I'm having. Do you know what soup?
Lobster bisque.
Good guess, but no. Miso is the one soup I
miso is
constantly
really
go for.
delicious.
Miso soup is good.
Because
Egg
it
drop
makes
soup is good too.
egg drop is good, but miso makes me feel better.
Yeah, I like miso. Miso gives me a much more like whenever I'm sick, as few times as I am sick because I am too busy to be sick. Anytime I'm sick, I will eat chicken noodle soup, and it makes me feel better.
I eat egg drop soup.
And miso
Makes me feel
soup
better.
gives me a similar feeling to chicken noodle soup.
See, I don't eat chicken and wild rice soup because I like creamy chicken and wild rice soup.
Oh.
And it's been drilled in my head that when you're sick, you don't eat dairy. Like, no matter what
Oh.
you're sick with.
Yeah,
I could have
no,
fucking
that's
cancer and I'd still be
bullshit.
like, yeah, I can't drink milk. I don't know. It just doesn't,
I don't care how sick I am. I will drink a glass of milk. I will eat a bowl of ice cream. I don't give a fuck.
I think it's my, because I was in choir and, if you get, your throat gunked up,
Oh,
supposedly
right.
eating dairy
Yeah.
is just, it gets
I mean,
gunkier.
eating dairy is not great when you're like that, but yeah.
I don't think it's as bad as, my choir teacher, said it
But
was.
I mean, if you're in choir and
isn't,
you need your voice to be in the zone, it's not good.
Yeah.
But even
get in the zone.
even at that point, drinking apple juice and drinking coffee, not good.
No, well, yeah. You're right.
Yeah,
But there are some things I'm not going to give up no matter how sick I am.
absolutely.
Coffee is one of them.
Coffee.
Yeah. Well, the right miso. Well, I'm not going to continue down the thing, but the right miso soup will make me feel really good. Very much like chicken noodle soup will also make me feel good, but not as good as miso because there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just-
a very simple soup.
It's
Yeah,
water
you
and
just-
tofu.
Yeah, you just put some water in there. You put some misos in
It's
there.
a
It's
touch more
perfect.
complicated than that, guys, but fair enough. I've looked at some recipes for miso soup, and I will tell you it's a tiny bit more
It's a
complicated.
smidge more complicated.
Yeah,
than
but
that,
it's not super complicated.
It doesn't
You're right.
taste like that.
It's a
True.
little more complicated than hot water and mushrooms.
Yeah, it's very light,
Yeah.
so you can.
But oh god, it feels so good. It's
It
like
does feel good.
I like miso soup because I like seaweed.
yeah,
Yeah.
Honestly, if somebody was like, all right, you have to choose one thing to eat for the rest of your life, seaweed or potato chips, I would choose seaweed.
Yeah.
You know what?
Because
just
you can
'cause
do
they're
more stuff with
so
seaweed.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're also just delicious. I just prefer them as a snack. I just prefer seaweed as a snack.
Oh yeah, I remember when we first moved in together, you bought those seaweed crisps.
Yeah, they're so good.
Those are so good.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah. We even made
Damn.
rice balls with those. Those are
Oh.
fucking
did, yeah.
good. I haven't made rice balls in a while.
We should do that.
We should.
Snappity.
All right. Well, I think, you know what? We've talked about a lot of stuff for the first
Talked
hour.
about a lot of stuff.
Any final thoughts that we want to wrap up before we ask Travis our favorite question?
Yeah. Do you want me to ask that question I asked you guys earlier?
What was it?
That one we were at the restaurant.
I
before we got
forgot
done?
what it was.
Okay,
Ask
That
it.
later.
No, we'll skip it.
Oh,
We'll skip
shit.
it.
Yeah, because we've
Okay.
been talking a lot.
Never
so.
mind.
talked a
We have
fucking-
talked a lot.
And also, I'm not reading anything right now. So.
And it's a. I'm glad you remember the question was because it's a 3-part question.
I don't
It's
remember.
Next week.
Oh wait, I just remembered what it was. Okay, yeah.
Oh my God,
I think
Travis.
we'll have to save it for next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good thing because
It is good. Now that I remembered what it was, it's
Yeah.
good. We should do
I
that.
have a backlog of questions right now that I actually we will get to eventually.
Yeah.
So I ain't stressed.
We're becoming a structured podcast.
I will say I have something important to ask
What's that?
What?
to Travis.
What's that?
Yes.
What do you think the episode will be about?
All right.
I
So
like.
Sam and Dean
Okay.
go to a casino.
Oh my God. Please don't do this,
This
Travis.
episode, no, do it. This episode called Bugs. Roll with it, baby. Roll with it.
Sam and Dean go to a casino.
What casino?
Any casino.
Where?
Somewhere in Arizona.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Deep. Hold on. You guys can't hear my deep, beleaguered sigh.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can. We're all wearing headphones. We finally all have
You guys
headphones.
can. You guys can. I am talking to our potential listeners
No,
who
our
we are about to lose.
No, I'm listening to the feed that's going to the listeners. I can hear the size.
The pointing and size are, oh, baby.
Sam and Dean go to a casino.
What do they do there, Travis?
They play some blackjack.
Yeah.
They play some roulette.
Sure.
They play some craps.
Okay.
And then when they're down to their last quarters, they decide to play some slots.
Yeah.
And they play the slots, and then they win. But instead of a bunch of quarters, a bunch of insects come out.
All right. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
That was long, drawn out, and perfect.
Yeah. A bunch
So
of fucking bugs.
That's what I think is going to happen.
All right. Well, let's see.
Let's find out.
We should get drunk before every podcast.
No, we shouldn't.
No, we shouldn't.
No, we shouldn't.
Travis should.
My liver can't take it.
Mine can. Go on.
It can, actually.
Get on my
I really
level,
don't drink
baby.
that much.
All right. Let's watch this episode.
Yeah. All right. So we've got 6 days to kill these white people. So ideas, people. I need ideas.
Well, what if we dig a hole, and if maybe some guy falls in, we can eat him?
Like how deep of a hole?
4 feet?
All right, Jerry. What about you?
All right. So we get the termites. We get them to chew through the stairs. We trap the family upstairs, and then we set the house on fire.
Look, Gary.
My name's Jerry.
I don't give a fuck. We only have 6 days. We don't have time for you to stick your head up your ass.
Actually, I'm a cockroach, so my head is already in my ass. And also, when people
Okay, what else?
Well, I could see what the spiders are doing. And, you know, if they're not busy, maybe they could hide in her shower head and then, like, fall on her.
how is that supposed to kill her?
Shut up, Jerry. This is gold. Keep going.
Okay, well, this is my magnum opus. So after we kill the random gas company guy and, you know, the real estate lady, we do nothing for 2 days. Really build up the suspense. And then on the last day, we wait until midnight. And then we come for them in swarms. Their house, the outside world, their cars, everything. We will blot out the moon with our numbers. When they try to leave, we'll be ready.
Attic.
What?
What if they don't leave? What if they just go to the attic?
Well, that's ridiculous. Why would they go to the attic? It's like the least protected part of the whole house. They'd probably just go for a closet or something. If anything.
Oh, Gary. Seriously ridiculous. All right, so
All right.
welcome back to Drunkcast.
No,
Or welcome back
guys.
to Drunk Assbutt.
I have
Hey,
bad
drunk
news.
butt. What's your bad news?
I drank the rest of the rum. It's in this cup.
Damn it,
You
Travis.
fuck.
Sorry.
I'm going to take it from you.
Okay.
Yeah, steal it. And you're drinking it neat.
Also-
Ben has infected you.
No,
You're right.
no, here's the thing. If the Coke is cold
If it's-
and the rum is cold,
Yeah.
there's no need for ice.
The rum wasn't cold.
The rum wasn't cold, but the Coke was, and I'm
Feel
drunk-
this drink.
I'm too drunk.
Is
to
it
care.
cold? Yeah, she's drinking it. It's cold.
Yeah.
It's lukewarm.
It's not lukewarm.
It is lukewarm.
It's
If the
colder than me.
The only reason that it would be lukewarm is because my hand was around it. Also,
That's false.
this is the
Wrong.
episode where I spilled way too much coffee on my shirt.
You spilled a lot of coffee on
Look
your
at all
shirt.
this
Yeah.
coffee on my
do,
shirt.
do you want me to take a picture for?
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
Okay.
I
It's-
just like saying we're gonna put things in the show notes, and we never will.
No.
One day, I'm gonna
At this point, I don't think we will.
I'm gonna reference a bunch of shit in an
can
episode
you-
and be like, "Oh, we'll put it in the show notes," and then I won't.
I got a new phone. We're putting this in live focus.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna-
Live focus. Oh,
Oh,
shit.
God.
I don't even know what that means.
My phone has 2 cameras, and I can make the background blurry and make you not blurry.
Whoa! It's like playing Skyrim.
So yeah, you
Now
must-
who's not on the microphone, Travis?
there you go, Travis.
Now who's not on the microphone?
The difference is my microphone has a much higher pickup level than yours does.
Well, all right
so
then. Well, there you
everyone could still
Yeah.
hear me.
Yeah.
go. Okay, I feel like, guys, we need to talk about the elephant in the room.
What's the elephant in the room?
This episode.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna drink more.
Y'all
of Travis's
listening-
drink.
Ben,
Don't know, but we had like a 45-minute conversation before we started recording.
Yeah, we were
45
like,
minutes. It was like an hour.
Yeah.
we
it
were
was a
like,
long
let's
time.
talk about anything else. Do you want to talk about the weather? It's
I-
like midnight.
I
Let's do it.
I specifically didn't record it because I didn't want to listen to it all again.
It was a good conversation.
It was
We
a
had
good
fun
conversation.
bits.
I mean, like, we have good conversations, but I don't think you realize how boring editing a podcast is.
Yeah.
We have good conversations, but they're good for us. They would not be good for our listeners.
I think it got
Yeah.
warmed up. It
'Cause
got
it
us
was
warmed
boring
up
to
for
them.
this, so we can do better for our listeners.
If it's boring
Exactly.
to me, it's probably boring to our listeners.
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
So every episode
You-
we've put out is boring.
You are essentially our audience incarnate, much like I don't remember
Yeah.
if that's the preferred term.
Well, I mean, now that you
Audience
guys,
surrogate.
yeah, that's the
now that
word.
you guys have headphones, you can kind of get
Yeah, it-
more of that.
It makes me feel like I'm doing a better job.
Yeah.
talking into this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can like you can play with microphone dynamics a little
Yeah.
bit.
I'm
more.
wearing the podcast uniform, so headphones and nothing else.
Hey,
Heyo,
My favorite thing to wear to bed? Socks
Ducky,
and headphones.
and
Ducky.
headphones.
But no, like
get us all podcast uniforms. Thanks.
that would just involve Ducky just taking our clothes off.
Slowly.
Hey,
Sexually.
Yeah.
I do want to fuck Carjo in Skyrim.
Oh
He's
my-
a cat
oh.
person.
Oh
I don't
my-
want to fuck him personally, but I want my character to get married to him, and that is implied.
Hey,
Oh my god.
marrying and fucking is both
So
understood in Southern America.
welcome to all of our new furry subscribers.
Whoa, hold on. I want to make one thing very clear.
Furries are people too.
I'd fuck the fox from Robin Hood too. All right.
All right, I
we can
mean,
move on.
who fucking
Who wouldn't?
Who wouldn't fuck?
You can
First of all,
be-
the fox from Robin Hood and
Is
Lola
sexy.
Bunny. Who wouldn't
All right.
fuck both of those?
I would fuck Lola.
And
I
now
would not fuck
Judy
the...
Hopps. Now that fucking
Yeah.
Zootopia
And
has come out,
Nick from Zootopia.
and Nick from Zootopia. Basically, almost every character in Zootopia.
Please include your gay men, your straight women, and your bisexuals.
Everyone.
all right?
It's all
Your
inclusive
pansexuals,
fucking here at
your
Hey Ass But.
demisexuals,
I'm
your
Ace, and
personality.
I would fuck every character in Zootopia. Okay, let's
All right.
do it.
Well, that's because you're a degenerate.
Yeah, you're right.
That's which has nothing to do with him being Ace or a furry.
You
He's just a
degenerate
degenerate.
ace.
Also,
fuck.
I'm not a furry. I'm furry adjacent. It's,
And we love you.
it's still a very important difference.
See,
Is
you,
it?
you,
Yes.
you don't like fucking, you like cuddling.
Yeah.
There you go. See, that's understandable.
You're
like-
a cuddler, not a fighter.
I like holding hands. I'm basically a teenager from the 50s.
And you know what? If you're having sex
I
white,
still
it is
listen
a
to
lot
jazz
like
music.
fighting.
I've seen you, Travis. I can agree to that.
Travis slicks back his hair every morning. He carries
I
it home
don't do it
with him.
every morning.
He drives in greased lightning.
He drives a Thunderbird.
He wears a bomber jacket every day.
You guys are putting out a.
He drinks malts exclusively over
Yeah,
shakes.
okay.
He exclusively drinks malts.
I do like malts.
They're tasty.
No, that's
I'll
all
be
he
You
honest.
guys had Ovaltine. It's delicious.
That was also the last time he had
Yeah.
sex. And we
1950
support that, Travis. We're very proud of you.
1954 with this lovely broad named Gertrude.
Yeah.
I mean, sex isn't real, so it doesn't matter.
Over
Yeah,
over
exactly. It's
over
all
a-
a figment of your imagination, Travis. I wouldn't stress.
Yeah.
over a
too
chocolate
blessed
malt
to be
and a
stressed,
piece of
Travis.
pie.
Yeah.
Was
Piece
that
of
her-
pie with an egg on top.
Was it her pie?
Nope, we're getting off topic. Guys,
I'm sorry.
we've got to talk about the episode.
You know, Ducky's fur is very like it reminds me of bird feathers.
Travis.
Okay.
All right.
Travis.
All right, because I'm not going to be the one to explain this episode. I'm very glad.
Yeah,
about
you
that.
explained last time.
Yeah, all right. I will say this. Oh, no, fuck it. I'll wait. Who's explaining the episode? My vote is Ari.
Why? What? Why me?
It's your turn.
Yeah,
Is it
your-
my turn?
It
I
is
feel
your
like I
turn.
do it a lot. Okay, fine.
No,
That's-
you
that's-
do it the least. No, actually, hang on.
You do
Ben-
it the least.
Ben does it the least. I do it the most, but I do it wrong, and then you guys correct me.
You're right. Okay, you're right.
That was
All right, let me
literally
sum
why
up
we
the
started doing
episode
this
real quick.
podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, let me sum up the episode real quick.
All right.
So, cold
rock and roll.
open.
Cold open.
There are
Sam
these
and Dean
two-
go to a casino.
Shut the fuck up. Damn it, I want to get through through this tonight. Okay.
It's gonna be tomorrow by the time we get done with this.
I still really want to watch Yu Hakusho show, guys. I want to get through that term.
We've got 11 minutes before it's tomorrow.
Oh God. Okay. It's not as late as I thought it was. That's good.
It's later
Okay.
than it is for me.
So, cold open. There are these two guys, and they're from a gas company, and they are surveying this area that is being developed.
Yeah.
And one of them falls into a hole.
What kind of hole?
A hole in the ground.
I think they call
Like
it
a
sinkhole.
Stanley
A
Yelnitz
sinkhole.
hole.
Like a sinkhole.
Hey.
Like he just
5
stepped
by 5
and then fell
by
down.
5.
5x5 hole.
I hate you fucking guys. I'm not gonna. I regret doing this. No, he falls into a sinkhole, and his buddy's like, "I'm coming." Oh, his buddy's name was Travis.
Yeah, that's my name.
Which I
Don't wear it out.
I enjoyed that.
Oh.
And the guy who fell in the hole, his name is Dustin.
I
So
knew a
he's
guy
like,
named Dustin.
"Let's." Oh
Yeah,
my
'cause the
God!
dust
Is this
fell in.
is this episode about you? Is he dead? Is Dustin gone?
I mean, I haven't talked to him in like 5 years.
I
so
knew a guy
maybe.
named Dustin, and he's alive. So,
I knew a guy
Oh,
named
yeah.
Dustin, and he was kind of a prick.
all right. Well,
Cool.
Dustin's
Fucking
the new
assholes.
Todds. No, I'm just kidding. The Dustin I knew was a nice enough guy.
No,
but
there's a
so
few- well.
Travis is like, "I'm gonna go get rope. I'm coming, buddy," because he falls like 2 feet and can't just stand out of the hole. Like it
Yeah.
is not very deep, but
Well, did he fall in head first or feet first?
No.
He broke his
He
ankle.
broke his ankle. That's why he couldn't get up.
and then
Ah,
while
yeah,
Travis
yeah.
is getting the rope, Dustin's like, "Oh, these fucking bugs doing on me. Oh my God, they're eating me. They're gonna eat Travis too." Ah!
just wiggles around and shit, yeah.
And Travis comes back and he's fucking dead. It took him like 2 seconds to get eaten to death by bugs.
Yeah.
Those
Well,
motherfuckers weren't fucking
Brandon-
around.
Yeah.
Travis took weight. That's so weird to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, Travis, you
Travis
took way
took a
too long
long
getting those
time getting
goddamn
that
ropes.
rope.
Yeah, he took way too long to get a rope. Like, if I had to go get a rope, I would have already known where the rope was.
Yeah, and you would have brought the exact opposite thing.
You're right.
Yeah.
I would have brought a step ladder.
You're right. Which actually makes more fucking sense and is more useful, even with a broken ankle. We're gonna talk about it. I have issues, all right. But anyway,
Subscriptions
so
even.
cut to y'all. Spoiler alert: this episode is real stupid.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Cut to
Sam and Dean at a casino.
They're not at a casino. They're at a bar, and Dean is hustling.
and they're in a casino bar.
And Sam, shut the fuck up, Travis. And Sam is like, "God, I wish we didn't have to do this. It's because of our shitty upbringing." And Dean is like, "I will defend our father to my last word."
Yeah.
Which is the thorough line of this episode. It's about
Season.
bad dads.
This whole season's about bad dads.
It really is.
dads.
The whole show is about bad dads. The whole show.
No, you haven't. No.
I will fight you on this.
No, I will fight you.
the
on
whole
this
show
and
up
win.
to like
Later.
season 5.
There you
Up
go.
till season 7.
Yeah, there's 13 seasons.
I know, but I'm
there's
saying
6 more seasons.
And the
that
majority
aren't
of them
about,
are about bad dads. But look, we're getting off topic. God damn it, I'm getting through the stuff.
'cause this
Okay.
episode blows.
So,
It's not as bad as the drowning one though.
it's not as... No, the drowning one was bad because it was boring. This
Yeah.
is bad because it's fucking nuts.
Well, I will. This is why this episode is bad. It's all rising
Also,
action.
yeah, and the climax is stupid.
Yeah.
and it makes no
It
fucking
makes no
sense.
fucking We're gonna get there.
There's no
We're gonna get there.
culmination.
Get there.
We're
All
gonna
right.
get there.
We're gonna get there.
I don't feel like we are.
We are. Oh, I'm about to steer this ship. I'm gonna steer this fucking ship,
All right, if
and I
you
will drag
don't,
you along with me.
if you don't, no one will.
You're right. The second half of this podcast will just be you two dicking around, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey guys, let's talk about the episode, please." Okay, so cut to Sam and Dean.
At a casino.
Shut the fuck up. Sam's like, "Hey, this guy's brain melted, and they think it's Mad Cow," and Dean's like,
Oh yeah. What year did that episode come out?
2005.
Very
so
big
it was
time
in the
for Mad
zeitgeist.
Cow, yeah.
It was in the zeitgeist. And yeah, Dean was like, "Oprah?" And isn't that a show? I saw that on Oprah, right? And Sam's like, "I mean, I don't fucking know. It's probably not Mad Cow because that takes years to set in. Like your
Months,
brain
if
just
not
doesn't
years.
melt in 2 seconds."
Yeah.
Yeah, unless acid is involved or bugs.
Yeah. Sam's like, "Yeah, they say he died within the hour. He died within 5 minutes."
Yeah. For real.
Hour's a strong term.
Yeah, an hour is generous.
It was an
Yeah.
Oklahoma hour, so there's not much going on there.
Fair enough.
Because it's all
So-
flat and boring.
Yeah.
Much like my middle school girlfriend.
And there's nothing to do. Rude.
Wow.
She doesn't deserve this. She had to put up with you.
Oh, damn.
Oh,
That was a good one. I'll
Thank
give you
you.
bones in that one.
Boom.
Bam!
So, Sam and Dean are like, all right, let's fucking look into this. Dean's like, I don't know, it's pretty thin. You know, there's not a lot. Okay, why on earth was that funny?
Middle school girlfriends, man.
Oh my god. So Dean and Sam go there. They meet up with Travis. And they're like, so, bad cow? And Travis is like, I mean, I guess. I'm not a fucking doctor.
Yeah.
So maybe you go talk to him. And then Travis was like, if it's not mad cow, then what is it? And Sam and Dean are like, dun,
Bugs.
dun, dun. Yeah, it was bugs. So they drive to
The casino.
the development.
Oh.
Did you hit him or something? So they drive to the casino. They drive. I did it. I did the thing. So they drive to the development where the guy died. It's a housing development. They're building some suburbs.
Wait,
And they come across this like opening day. Come check out our houses, barbecue, meet the neighborhood. Nobody else lives there except for like the developer, his family,
And the casino owner.
and
God damn it.
the realtor, who, by the way, basically introduces herself to the brothers by being like, "Hi, I'm gonna live forever. Are you guys gay? Cool. You're not? Fine."
I
Oh yeah,
love that.
that's a running joke throughout the series, as people are like, "Yeah,
They're
look at these
shipping
two
them.
queers." Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Sam and Dean decide to go investigate, and they meet the developer who is not important and doesn't have a name.
Larry?
Larry. And
Larry.
Because
he's
he's like, yeah,
basically like,
we cater to any race, color, creed, or sexual
Yeah,
orientation.
and not only that, but like, so I think we've mentioned this before, but we watched the episode with the captions on because like I'm hard of hearing.
Yeah.
And it's just good to know, like, sometimes it's hard to tell what they're saying.
And we were pretty drunk.
And we were pretty drunk this episode. But so in the captions, they were like race, creed, or like race, age, ellipsis, sexual orientation.
Both times, like, hey,
and Sam
nudge,
and Dean are
nudge,
basically
nudge,
like,
nudge.
oh, we're related. And Larry might as well go, it won't matter.
Yeah, because they're in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Where that's
because,
fine.
No, I was referencing the fandom.
Yeah.
In the caption.
Yeah.
Hey, that's kind of weird, right? Accept it now. It's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
It's fine.
Well, that's
So-
like one of my favorite jokes. Is like incest. Why go down the street when you can go down the hall?
Oh, God.
Oh,
Yeah, but yeah, I mean that's how some people feel. And they ship it hard, and you know what? They do them. They're
ship
not
it
real
like
people,
two-
and I don't care.
They ship it like an expedited one-day shipping.
Ship it like UPS.
Yeah, they ship it like they got Amazon Prime.
Hey.
Yeah, they ship it.
Ship it real good.
So the other important thing about this scene is that they meet Larry's son, who is into bugs and also is not important enough to have a name.
What was his name?
Matt.
Kyle? Matt?
His name was
Steven?
Matt.
There's a lot of
He
boring
had,
names.
Yeah, generic
Yeah.
white names is
Like-
the other
ugh.
name this
Well, yeah.
episode might as well be.
It's a housing development on a Native American burial ground. It's not going to be like Kumar or Jamal. It's going to be Kyle, Steven, and Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the wife's name, I think her name was, I don't know, Matt?
Jean.
Janine.
Janine.
God
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, this bitch was French. Like, so anyways, right after that
Boring-ass
scene,
names.
Sam and Dean decide to squat. And while this is happening, like, Matt, the bug kid, has a bad relationship with his dad. I'm calling him the bug whisperer.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
Matt, the bug whisperer, has a bad relationship with his dad. And Sam relates to this
Yeah.
because John Winchester is an awful human being.
Yep.
And Dean, of course, has a problem with it because he hero worships his dad. So, like, the
Yep.
throw line through the episode is Sam being like, hey, kid, it's going to be okay. Like, you're going to go to college. I get that you don't get along with your dad. It's fine. And Dean's like, what the fuck are you saying?
It should be
Our
like
dad
Yeah.
is
family.
great.
Dean's
What are
like,
you
hey, you
doing?"
should stick with your family.
Yeah. yeah.
Stop being an asshole. But yeah.
And Dean is wrong and Sam is right, but we'll talk about that later.
That's another episode entirely.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that a
Yeah.
lot. But
We got 13 seasons so far.
yeah,
Oh my
we got
God.
time. So Sam and Dean squat in a house, and they're like arguing and bickering back and forth. And while this is happening, realtor lady gets murdered by
By rubber
by
spiders.
rubber
CGI
Party
rubber
City
spiders.
spiders.
Yeah.
God
They
damn.
come out of her fucking like drain spout in her
Yeah.
shower,
Yeah.
and they murder her to death.
They
murder
go
her
from
to
CGI
death.
spiders to rubber spiders.
Real
Yes.
quick.
Real
Sam
quick.
and Dean investigate, and they pull up a towel, and some rubber spiders fall out. They're like,
They're like, oh, these
it's fucking bugs again.
fucking spiders.
So
I
they're
can't
like,
believe it.
maybe the bug whisperer has something to do with this. So they go and they talk to him, and he's like, no, I don't have anything to do with this, but you want to see something crazy?
Even better, they follow his school bus, which
Yeah,
they don't
they
follow.
follow him.
They're in front of it.
And then
they
they confront a child.
No, they like the school bus is coming one way. They're coming the exact opposite way, and they're like, "That's not his house. That's the forest."
Yeah.
How the fuck did they get in front of that school bus?
I don't know. Magic.
Ah, Jesus.
Yeah.
But
Plot magic.
so they follow him. They confront a child about being a possible murderer, which if I were that kid, I'd be like, cool. I need a fucking buddy because I'm being threatened right now.
Needed an adult.
But he's very chill about it. He's like, oh, cool. I just understand you've implied that I've killed several people, but come check out this weird bug place.
Because I know you relate to me and my dad issues.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show
and
you
also
these
will
weird
possibly
worms.
believe me about these bugs that are like communing.
Yeah.
He's like,
And
currently.
where are the bugs communing? On an unmarked grave.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, he's holding a praying mantis, and he's like, "Yeah, that doesn't explain the bees. That doesn't explain the earthworms. I don't fucking
Also,
remember."
And
Are
Sam
there-
and Dean were like, "Oh yeah, we should have listened. We should have thought about this for 5 seconds,
Like-
and we would have realized that you possibly couldn't have murdered everybody because
That's
the
the
guy who
culmination
fell
of
in
the
the hole,
episode.
Dustin, died because a bunch of beetles, I
Yeah.
guess, crawled into his ear, ate his brain. Very reasonable fear to have.
Like Beatles are wont to do.
And then the person who came out and broke land, he died because of bee stings.
Oh shit, yeah.
Or like I guess he wasn't the person who broke land, but he was a surveyor and he died because of bee stings.
Yeah.
And then realtor lady who was originally going to live forever but died very early in the episode. It was spiders. So yeah, if Sam and Dean had been like, wait, how is the bug whisperer doing all of this? Then yeah, they would have thought their way out of that. But
They would just come to him from help instead of being
It's-
like, "Hey, asshole."
it's good that they have an ally
Yeah.
because he leads them to an unmarked grave where they find a bunch of skulls. I wonder what this could possibly be.
Yeah, it's not a Native American burial ground.
Yeah, that would be insane.
Yeah.
That's never shown up in a horror movie before.
Nope.
So they go to meet this anthropology professor, and the anthropology professor is like, "Oh, definitely a Native American burial ground. This is an ancient Indian burial ground, and you know what that means." And then they go to a reservation.
Yeah.
And like
They go to a res.
a lot of this episode, when we're doing our breakdown, is going to be
Taking place in a
Us?
casino.
God damn.
Travis, I'm going to throw this Irish Spring at you.
Oh, that's my soap.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
You're gonna smell good after that.
I
You're
am.
going to smell real good.
Yeah.
But basically, like, okay, we're all white.
Yep.
And we are
If
going
you
to be
didn't
critiquing-
already know.
Yes, right? And we're going to be critiquing a show which has decided to portray Native Americans through a white lens for white people.
Yeah.
So just going to put out that little disclaimer because we're going to talk about it.
That's the disclaimer noise I did.
That's a very good
Bam,
disclaimer
bam,
noise, Travis. So they go to an Indian reservation and they meet a wise old Indian man. And he's basically like, okay, cavalry came in about 200 years ago. They slaughtered all my ancestors for 6 days. And as the chief of the, town or the village was dying, he basically looked up to the sky and was like, no whiteys here.
Yeah.
And now that the developer's family have moved in,
Now that whiteys
for
are coming
6 days, bugs have been attacking them and killing them.
Yeah.
So they go back to the house and they're like, hey, get off the fucking land, Larry. Get out of here, Larry. Larry!
But the bug whisperer has been like, "Hey, I've been trying to tell Dad about this," and he's like, "Hey, fuck you, Sam and Dean, get out of here."
Yeah, and Larry's like, I'm not going to listen to you. My family will be totally fine. I don't know what universe I live in.
Yeah.
And alas, the bugs have come.
The bugs have come.
Midnight on the last night. If they can make it till sunrise, they will be fine.
Yep.
So they go into the house. The bugs come into the house by like going down the chimney flume.
They come down the flume. The termites eat holes in the ceiling.
Yes, they go up to the attic and the termites just like
The
bugs
worst
inside.
place to go during
worst
this
place to
whole
go.
fucking thing.
Okay, we're
Well,
gonna
I
talk
don't-
about it.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
get through this because we're gonna talk about it.
Jesus.
And then they go up to the attic and they try to fight off the bugs. It's not working. They're being swarmed. They're just cuddling together. It's their last moments on this earth. And what happens? The sun rises. And everything's fine. The bugs
Yeah.
go away. They've survived the 6 days. So the developer's like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
He moves his family off, and now he and his son have a good relationship because his dad believes in supernatural bugs. And Sam and Dean not really resolving the issues that they have
Yeah.
concerning their father, which fair, it's very early. But they drive away and
Well, it kind of fits
Go
because
off to the next
they
thing.
never really resolved that problem in the first season.
I don't think you can resolve that problem
Yeah,
this early on. It takes
I
years
guess
of therapy.
that's a hell of an allegory, is what they're
Yeah.
doing with this episode. That being said,
All right, let's talk about why this episode was bullshit.
yeah, where do we want to start?
Let's start at the beginning. I'm going to tell you guys the very first note I wrote down.
What
All right.
What was your very first note? Was it
Developers in Oklahoma. Well, you know where this is going. I
to the
immediately
casino?
was like, oh, Native American burial ground.
Yeah.
God damn,
Oh, cursed land. All right.
it's rock and roll.
Let's rock and roll.
Immediately.
What, Travis, did you have any thoughts or questions about this episode? This is your introduction. Like, you are 8 episodes into this massive show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel so far?
I feel like I'm pretty good at roulette.
God damn it!
God damn it, Travis.
What about craps? I'm kidding.
Not
I'm,
as good.
I'm
Not
kidding.
as good.
Yeah, because it's a game of craps. No one's
Yeah.
good at craps.
Exactly.
Oh, my second
point.
note, by the way, was when Dustin falls in the hole. My second note was, is your ankle balsa wood?
Yeah.
Because he breaks it. He doesn't get a sprain.
Yeah, no,
by
he
the way,
breaks
this
it.
hole is like at most 5 feet deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, falling from 5 feet, not cool. You can roll your ankle and do some pretty fucked up shit.
Yeah.
But man,
But it's not gonna you're not gonna break your ankle, and you're not gonna bleed from breaking your ankle from 5 feet unless you
unless you're being attacked by supernatural bugs.
Yeah, I guess
and
so.
holding cinder blocks above your head or something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, but like he's getting attacked by bugs and he's just laying there. And I'm like, dude, stand up.
Yeah.
Like you could, with some you could try to crawl out of this hole.
I feel
You
like
could attempt.
I feel like we're gonna get tweeted at and be like, I actually fell 5 feet and broke both my ankles.
And,
You know, and if that
and was
happens,
attacked
we're
by
very sorry,
beetles.
but,
yeah, but
I'm not sorry. Your bones are made of balsa wood. Drink more fucking milk. Eat some jalapenos.
don't do milk. Stay in drugs. Don't
Yeah.
do. I don't remember what the third thing is. I don't remember the third part of the joke.
Leave school.
Leave school.
School. Get out of school, man.
Don't do milk. Stay in drugs and get out of school.
And then my third note, I'm just gonna go through this and then let Ben talk a bit.
Shit,
So they
that's
get
a
into the
bad idea.
hole, and Dean and Sam are like, "Okay, we gotta investigate. Who's gonna go down there?" And Sam's like,
I got
"Fucking
it.
you."
Yeah.
And then Dean's like, "Oh, okay, you a pussy?" And basically, toxic masculinity is why Sam got in the hole. Like,
You mean Dean?
no, Sam get into it eventually because
Yeah.
Oh,
Sam's,
no, that's right.
Dean's
Yeah,
like,
he
let's
goes
flip
in.
a coin. And they flip it, and Sam catches it in midair and is
Yeah.
like, I'm going.
I got it.
Because Dean insulted his, his manliness.
Yeah.
So Sam's basically, what I'm saying is Gendo Akari could have gotten Shinji and the robot much easier.
Yeah.
He didn't have to bring Ray out in front of them. He just wanted to be like, what, are you a fucking pussy, Shinji?
Come on now. Come on. You gonna get in the hole or not?
Yeah, basically. So, that's yeah, I've got a couple of notes on this episode. What do you think, Ben?
All right. Here's why I don't like this episode. It's not as bad as the Drowning Kid episode because at least the Drowning Kid. Well, I don't know which one I prefer. I would watch if I had to choose between this episode, the Drowning Kid episode, or Certain
That's
Death.
episode 3, Dead in the Water.
Yeah, if I had to choose between episode 3, Dead in the Water, or episode 8, Bugs, or Certain Death, I would go with a 45 caliber bullet.
Oh my god. I would choose Bugs over Certain Death.
But no,
and I would choose Bugs over Dead in the Water, too.
that was a joke mainly. But still, like, here's the problem.
Mostly because this episode didn't drag on for a million
What's it?
years.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's
goes by very quick.
Yeah, because that's the one thing I don't like about it is because it didn't feel like 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like,
'Cause-
we were almost done with the episode, and I was like, I didn't realize this episode was only
It felt like
10
20 minutes,
long.
right? Yeah. 'Cause-
Well, Ben,
Oh.
yeah, do you want to go into it?
Yeah, I'll jump into it. This, much like the film Lucy, have very similar problems, and that it's all rising action.
It really
And the
is.
climax is 10 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no culmination. There is no closure of the episode. It's just things somehow fix themselves.
Yeah.
Which is not a good ending.
Well,
It's worse than me trying to have sex.
Hey.
I'm trying to think. I am
You're welcome.
literally I am literally trying to think right now
That was
of
for
an
you, buddy.
example where the main character, the protagonist, solves the problem by just standing around, and it's a good, satisfying ending. Because
Far Cry 4.
Oh
well,
my
I
God.
don't know what that is. Is it a video game?
It's a video game.
Yeah.
If
I
you,
feel like then that's not the ending.
No,
if
no,
you're
no,
controlling the character.
It's a joke ending, or it's
Okay.
mainly a joke because literally you have two choices with that game.
Mm-hmm.
One, you can run around and actually fight the dictator, or the game is like, hey, like one of the characters around you when you first start the game is like, hey, if you stand around here for like 10, 15 minutes, I'll get you your mother's ashes, some of her like personal effects, and you're good to go. If you wait that 10, 15 minutes, that character comes back with your mother's ashes and personal effects, and you get a game over screen.
What?
Because that's how,
There's a moment like that in the
sounds
first
dumb.
in both Portal games.
yes.
There's a moment where you can be like, okay, I just won't do anything, and then the game ends.
All right,
Yeah.
bring it back, guys.
No.
But yeah, so okay, I'm trying to think
That
of like a
sounds bad.
satisfying ending where the
Oh yeah, no.
protagonist
There is
does
there is
not a
no
damn
satisfying
thing.
ending.
Like it's the end of the first Twilight book where Bella just lays around, can't even fucking see.
Yeah.
She's
Alright,
basically
let's-
unconscious.
Let's bring it back.
And it's just like you're hearing the climax happen, and that's what happens in this episode. Up
Yeah.
until now, we're used to Sam and Dean being very active. We, I don't think there's a single episode that happens because the solution is always somebody doing something.
Right.
It's either a personal sacrifice, or it's salting and burning the bones, or it's breaking a mirror.
yeah, this time it was literally just
Huddle.
all we need to do is survive.
Yeah.
We
Well,
don't need to fight
it was
anything.
the
There's nothing we
shortest-
can do.
I don't know if this was editing. I don't know if they just didn't get across that time had passed very well. Well, I do know that's the reason. Sam and Dean get to the house at 11:30.
Yeah.
In about 10 seconds, 30 minutes pass.
It's midnight.
It's midnight.
And the
they're
bugs are
trying to
on the
get
way.
Larry and Janine and Matt out of there, the bug whisperer. The bugs are on the way, and they're just like, all right, get in the fucking house. And at midnight, the bugs come. They do
And then
all
they
the shit in
arrive.
the downstairs of the house where the bugs get in through the fume. They go up to the attic. Again, from our perspective as a viewer, not much time has passed.
Yeah, like
it's maybe
45
been,
seconds have
It's
passed.
maybe
Yeah.
been
Maybe a minute.
5 minutes.
If that.
Yeah,
that.
if that.
Yeah, I think I'm being generous. They try to fight off the bugs after the termites, burrow a hole into the house and get in through the attic. They try to fight off the bugs.
Which all they're doing to fight him off is
Dean's got a can of Raid that
Of
he's basically
Raid?
turned into a flamethrower.
yeah, and he's
Yeah.
like holding a lighter
It's
in front of
off-brand
it.
Raid. Yeah.
Let's. I can't
They-
not talk about this. Let's talk
Well-
about why going to the fucking attic is the
Well,
worst idea
let me
in the
finish
situation.
this. Let me finish
Oh, I'm
this tangent
sorry.
real quick
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
They huddle together, and again, it is at this point maybe 12:10.
Yeah.
It
If
is
that's-
maybe 12:10. They huddle together for a couple of seconds, and then the sun comes up. What happened? Night passed.
Yeah.
It was fucking nuts. And that's part of what makes it so dissatisfying is that they barely had to do anything, and then the situation got solved for them in a way that makes no fucking sense.
Maybe
Yeah.
it was
because
actually
no time passed.
maybe it was actually 12 noon and it was so dark because
yeah, I
the
guess,
bugs
and they were
were
going
blotting
through a
out the
fucking
sun.
eclipse or
the sun,
something.
yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
was fucking
Actually, it was
crazy.
so dark in that casino they didn't know what time it was.
Damn it.
They didn't even know they were in a casino. That's how dark it was. It looked like a house, but
Yeah, they didn't know they were playing blackjack.
yeah.
God.
They don't put clocks in casinos for that reason.
Yeah.
That and they pump a whole bunch of oxygen in too.
Yeah. But it's just crazy. Like,
Yeah.
what a bad editing. If it was an editing issue, fire that editor.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even think it's editing. I think it's just poor story
it's just,
architecture.
it's poor
Yeah.
story. It's poor storytelling because this is so far, like, even though I preferred this episode to Dead in the Water,
Yeah.
quite frankly, that ending is insulting. It is insulting to my intelligence. You
ol-
thought you could get that past me, Supernatural? How dare you?
I will say this: some of the special effects in this episode are pretty cool.
Not the spiders,
Not
but
the
I
spiders,
agree.
Not the spiders,
most
but,
other
like,
things.
yeah.
Yeah. But the one thing I really appreciate about this episode, and I truly mean this, is the fact that it feels like only 25 minutes has passed.
Yeah, thank
now,
God.
In
Yeah.
Dead in the Water, it feels like a full-length feature film.
Yeah, we felt like we
slogging
were there
through
for
that
days.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. No.
I will say with Dead in the Water, we talked more through that episode.
Oh God, yeah, we did.
Because it just felt like it was going on forever. And Bugs, we did talk a little bit, but not that badly.
I think there's a shitty sci-fi film. I think it's called Mausoleum, where it's very similar to Dead in the Water, where it just feels like years have passed while watching this movie. But like something like I'm not saying Arachnophobia is a bad movie, but it's definitely like a B+, A- film. It doesn't feel like an hour and a half has passed. It feels like maybe 45 minutes, much like this episode.
Yeah.
Do you think it went so fast because we were all drinking?
No.
I think this was the best way to watch this episode.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're watching Supernatural for the first time through and you're like looking for tips, drunk is a good way to get through the first few seasons.
I think we actually mentioned that in the first episode.
Yeah.
We were like, the best way to get through this is to drink.
Yeah.
I actually
and now we are here.
I felt pretty sober watching the episode, and it did go
Yeah.
by very quick. And I do
Yeah.
think it's because of poor story structure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Which is weird because I feel like they figured out the problem very early in the episode. But again, I just
yeah.
think it went by so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I kind of wish I could watch the episode again. I'm not going to.
No.
But I kind of wish we had watched the episode, like, with the timestamp visual.
Yeah.
Because maybe it would have felt like not as fast. But at the same time, I don't know.
But at the same time, I think it's a blessing that it seems to go
Yeah,
by
because
so fast.
if it had felt like it lasted the 44 minutes,
Yeah.
whatever a broadcast hour actually is for a show,
Yeah.
if it had lasted that full time,
Or Dead in the Water, which feels like even longer.
yeah, I would have been like,
You just watch that instead of the episode.
yeah, I would have been like, okay, we get it. It's fucking Bugs. Can we just go gamble some
Yeah.
money, please?
I felt like asking you guys what could have Sam and Dean have done to, like, I guess, block the bugs from coming, but the only thing that comes to mind is like salt and burn the bones, which
I don't know. I don't think that would have worked because it was a curse, not a ghost.
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
I would have given it a
Big
shot.
maybe.
Yeah.
Like I think.
Well,
I really think
well,
one of them.
I think they found this burial mound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was. I think it was one of very many burial mounds.
right.
Possibly.
So I don't think there was any possible way that they could salt and burn every single bone.
Well, I think actually legitimately what the problem is that the writers had two options. Okay. When you got to the house and Larry hadn't left in time.
Yeah.
They could have either, when they went inside the house, they could have either been like, okay, everybody got some rain jackets on or something. Great. We are running out to the cars. The cars were literally like, I think Larry's was in the driveway, not a
Yeah.
very far walk. And they were in the attic for a good,
8 hours.
yeah, I guess. They were, presumably, they were in the attic being attacked by bugs for 8 hours.
God
And they
damn.
all survived.
Yeah.
So, hypothetically, they could have made the 3-second walk to the car and been fine.
Yeah.
But then the episode would have been over too early because, we're just going to drive away. Problem solved. Also,
would've-
not a very satisfying ending.
That would have been the same
But
ending.
it would have made more sense.
It would have been literally driving off into the sunset.
Right, but it would have been like if I were in that situation, that's what I would have done. So they had to go the other option, which is stay in the house, which is dumb.
Yeah.
But then the episode would have been over, and we wouldn't have had anything else to go.
What?
Yeah.
You could have had.
But they wrote themselves into a corner.
Yeah.
Because there's no way to defend yourself against a swarm of bugs if you can't run away from it.
It would have been really cooler is if like they got in the cars.
Yeah.
And they drove off.
And then the bugs follow them, maybe?
The bugs chased them.
Yeah,
They're
and there was like a chase scene or something.
they just drive
Yeah.
off.
Which, I mean,
towards the
admittedly,
sun.
8 hours, that's a long time. But it would have been more interesting than what
Yeah.
happened, for sure.
Yeah.
But the writers wrote themselves into a corner where they were like, there's nothing we can do against these bugs. I guess we have to Deus Ex Machina. The sun comes up 8 hours early. Thank God.
Yeah, something
Well-
like that.
So, Ben, you wanted to talk about why the attic is such a terrible idea.
Yeah. All right. All right. When it comes down to it, you got termites. They are bugs. What is an addict? But a whole lot of
Giant nest for termites.
It's just a
Exactly.
termite snack.
exactly.
Yeah.
They,
It's just a snack of termites.
they can
Man.
just they have to break through like a single layer of house and be
Yeah,
able to
because
get
there's
to
not
you.
like any
Wait,
puff.
Well, there's insulation, but you're
Oh.
standing on it because you're in the fucking attic.
Oh, thank you,
'Cause-
Carpenter Ben.
Well, yeah, they're like,
Thank you, Jesus.
you're welcome. But no, sure, like some places, if they want it to be more secure, and if you want to use your attic for like stuff, you're gonna have insulation up there. But in that house, as you could see, it didn't have the insulation because it was a new house.
So they should have
Yeah.
gone to like the basement or something.
Basement's also a bad idea
Oh,
because
never
of
mind.
because of worms and shit like that. Because they could all like band together and crawl to you. The best place to be would have been in like the middle of the house in like a bathroom. All you gotta do is like stuff up the drains and shit.
Or
And,
like a closet
Exactly.
where you have just like one line that you put a towel down.
Yep.
Okay,
Something
but
like that.
seriously, I would rather deal with a horde of worms, like a swarm of worms, adorable. A swarm
I-
of like flying monsters, not cool.
But still, like you.
I mean, but worms are like squishy, and then they'll get on you, and then you're like,
yeah, but they're not
Yeah.
gonna like eat me.
I mean,
did y'all go fishing as kids?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, because I was gonna be like, yeah.
You weren't the only good old Southern boy at this table.
Fair enough.
I'm right here.
I'm glad I set that
You're right.
up.
I'm the Yankee of the group.
Yeah, carpetbagger.
Yep.
But
You're
no,
from Texas.
Yeah, but before Texas, we were from New York.
Yeah, but you were born in Texas.
I was born in Texas, but the rest of my family's from New York.
Oh, by that logic,
oh,
I am a
from-
Yankee because my mom's from Maryland.
Yeah.
I'm. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. The point is that the North won, the South lost, and we just have to get over it.
Yep.
Yeah. The South won't rise again because our bad backs.
Yes, economy shit.
Yeah,
All right,
and
so let's talk about. Are you done with the attic?
yeah, pretty much
Okay,
because that's basically
good
it.
points all around.
Well, yeah, and well, I have one more thing, and like,
Okay.
it proves itself in the episode. The spinny fan thing. I can't remember what they're called, but yeah, that's a giant ass hole that bugs just have to pop.
Oh, yeah,
once,
like
and then they
the-
all come in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The ventilation shaft.
yeah,
Yeah, I guess Dean and Sam have never, because their childhood, they'd never had to deal with like bugs,
yeah.
so they weren't
Only
like
much more dangerous things.
Yeah, but like they're I'm telling you, it's a hole in their defense because they're up against bugs and they're like, fuck. All we got is a flamethrower can of Raid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe they didn't get banned from the casino for that.
Boo, boo. I thought we left it behind.
Nope.
I think you need to. I don't know. Fold on the casino jokes.
If this follows us into the next episode,
yes.
I'm taking you down, Travis. You think I can't do it? I'm spindly.
Yeah.
I think I defeated Travis with the casino jokes with the casino pun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand on
Good
that joke.
defense.
All right.
I might
Ben.
hit. Could go all in.
With the casino puns. I don't know enough about poker. It's a flush. Your casino puns are a royal flush, Travis.
That means
Down the toilet.
Oh well. Okay. Yeah, that works.
It's a double pun. It's 2 in 1.
Oh my God.
You're going to have to hold them to your chest.
I'm gonna need more booze if y'all are gonna do this.
No, never again. Okay, I want to talk about, we can leave Travis for now because if he starts drinking again, oh God.
We're
Oh my God. Okay. I want to talk about their fight that they had.
the fight about their dad.
The fight
Yeah.
about their dad. Because we talked about, like, that doesn't get resolved this episode,
No. Well,
which I wouldn't expect it to, which we
Yeah.
said earlier.
because that's like one of those it's one of those big problems that's supposed to last the entire season.
Right. Or the entire show. I get it.
Exactly. Well,
Close to the entire show.
there you go.
But it's so basically what they argued about. Sam keeps being like, "Hey, bug whisperer, it's gonna be okay. Like you're gonna be able to go to college. College is awesome. Like you don't have to sit around your dad, who honestly doesn't seem like that bad a dad. Like, okay, we don't see the whole picture.
Yeah.
And it sucks that he doesn't like get on his son's level, but his son's level is obsessed with bugs.
Well, that just means the kid's gonna be what is it, entomologist?
Yeah. Something like that.
No, I'm not. Okay, I'm not trying to shit on people who like bugs. That's not what I'm going for here. But what I'm saying is, like, the first time we see his dad get exasperated at him, he is literally trying to scare the shit out of somebody with a tarantula.
No, that being said, going back to like the dad being pissed off at the son. I think it's really funny because the dad is a real estate agent and the kid wants to be like a scientist because you know how you go into real estate school?
By failing at college.
By failing out of dental school.
Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Which you
apologies to all our real estate listeners.
Yeah, because you get out of dental school or you get into dental school because you failed out of regular doctor school.
Oh, Ben, so mean. We need dentists. You need a dentist, is what I'm saying.
Roll Tide.
But, yeah, so what I'm saying is, like, we don't really see the dad be a piece of shit. Like, okay, he's exasperated because his son's trying to prank the lady with a tarantula, and he doesn't, like, get his son.
Yeah.
I totally understand him not believing that supernatural bugs are coming to destroy the house. Like,
Wait, so that is a bit of a stretch.
yeah, that is...
Even for supernatural.
Even for supernatural. It's,
Yeah.
Okay, I have to leave now? Are you telling me I'm responsible for all these deaths because of an ancient curse that's been put on the land?
Yeah.
All right, then. But what I'm getting at is that I think Sam is projecting.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, instead of being like, you should try to work it out with your dad because he doesn't seem like a total asshole. Sorry he didn't believe with, like, what teenager feels understood by their parents?
None.
I don't know I have a single teenager who's like, yeah, I mean, this isn't like fucking Gilmore Girls. Like,
Yeah.
It's you know, hey kid, buckle down, go to college. When you're in your 30s and you have your wife, your dad will like you again.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, it's just a shitty thing about life.
Yeah.
You know, teenagers often don't get along with their parents.
Yeah. Like 13 to 18 is just shitty years.
Yeah.
Because you're an asshole.
And that sucks. Like, it sucks to feel like your parents don't understand you or don't care about your interests. And that's not, like, your parents should be encouraging you.
Yeah.
But that is on a different level than what John Winchester did to his sons.
Wait, because he had no interest in what his kids wanted to do. He was just like, you're going to be hunters.
He barely had his interest in his kids' safety.
I think he barely had an interest in his kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's all for revenge.
Yeah, pretty
All
much.
for revenge.
Well, so the fight that Sam and Dean have, Sam's like, come on, dude. He raised us like shit.
Yeah.
You know, he mistreated us. He put us in danger all the time. And Dean's like, he was trying to, he showed us that he cared about us. Like, he didn't let Sam do soccer and said he wanted to do bow hunting.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Which, like, it seems like a small thing. I don't know.
There's another good one that I can't remember. I think it's from the first episode where Sam goes, I told Dad that I was scared of the boogie monster.
Yeah.
And he gave me a pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He gives me a 9mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who the fuck does that?
I mean,
He's like, you
okay, fair enough.
And Dean is like, come on, you know the boogie monster's real?
Yeah. Well, okay, if your child is young enough that he is still coming to you because there's a monster in his closet,
Yeah.
maybe you should handle the monster in the closet if you believe it actually exists, John Winchester.
Yeah.
You shouldn't hand your young child's son a gun and say, have a good time.
Maybe John Winchester was a big fan of self-soothing.
I guess. Okay, but this is what I really want to talk about, and
Okay.
that's this line. Dean, in defense of his father, is like, you think he just abandoned you? Because Sam's like, look, man, what kind of parent kicks their child out for going to school? Rightly so.
Mm-hmm.
And Dean's like, you think he just abandoned you? No, he visited Stanford all the time just to check up on you. All right.
Yeah.
Look, man. Hey, early
Hey.
2000s, this is a common trope. It's still a common trope to this day, and I'm going to set it straight right here, right now. If you treat somebody like an asshole, it doesn't matter if you secretly love them. You're still an asshole. All right?
Yeah.
That's it. End of conversation.
Yeah.
Like, do y'all have anything you want to say on that? Sorry, I feel
Yeah,
like
it
this
seems
episode
like-
fills me with rage. It filled me with rage, guys.
I mean, I see what you're saying, whereas, like, there's that trope where, oh, I was an asshole to you, but I was secretly in love with you. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, but I love you too. And then
Yeah.
everything's fine.
Yeah.
Like, if there was a moment where
Yeah,
John
you're still being an asshole,
Yeah.
though.
if there was a moment where John Winchester was just standing outside of Sam's window in the rain holding a boombox that was playing Carry On My Wayward Son.
Oh, my God.
Oh my god, that's all I want. Oh my god.
Just standing next to the Impala.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Burr, 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 burr. Oh my God. And Sam's just looking out the window and was like, Dad, what the fuck are you doing? Go home, you drunk bastard. Like,
I've got SATs in the morning.
yeah, I got shit to do.
Yeah.
I'm in exams, Dad, exams.
Yeah. Gotta get that placement.
And there is a way to do this trope, the whole like, I hate you, but I love you, but I treat you like an asshole because I'm afraid of my feelings. Like, there is a way to do that successfully.
Yeah.
But it helps when, A, the story recognizes that the character is being an asshole instead of just absolving them of everything.
Yes.
With Supernatural doesn't come down on John's side.
John does things that make you like him,
Yes.
but
shit,
he does a lot of things you don't.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Yondu, like, was abusive to Peter, but that's the most likable character in the bunch.
It's true. I haven't seen that movie. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
It's cool.
You should watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's really good,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It's really
I'll watch
good.
it eventually.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to say about that. That's gonna keep coming up. The recurring theme is like fathers and sons and
Yeah.
misunderstandings and mistreatment and things like that.
See, I think that's why I'm kind of glad when the show came out when it did, because I was in like what 6th grade. Yeah, and like at that point in time, I would have been coming into that that age of where my parents don't understand me, and so
Yeah.
it was kind of cool to like watch me and my father's relationship on television.
Yeah.
Without having to watch it on television.
Yeah.
But yeah. So as the show went on, it kind of made me understand like where my dad was coming from. But yeah.
But it still doesn't. But like, a character can be very likable and still a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That's why Tumblr is obsessed with villains. That's why Loki is like the mascot for misunderstood teens.
Shit.
And he's killed people. He's
Yeah.
killed like a lot of people.
I don't know. This is a random question. This is mainly for Travis. Who is a worse father at this stage in time? With your knowledge of the supernatural universe.
Okay.
John Winchester or Big Boss?
Wait, who's Big Boss?
Okay, so in Metal Gear Solid, you have Solid Snake, Liquid Snake, and then they are clones of Big Boss.
Oh, okay.
And so he's their dad, and yeah, that was a joke for Travis. I'm sorry.
And he's a bad guy?
No,
He's
kind
just not a
of.
good dad?
Well, it's really convoluted. Like,
Yeah.
like, are you familiar with
We-
how muddled the Legend of Zelda timeline is?
We
Yes.
don't
Multiply
have,
that by like a billion, and well,
Yeah.
not
Oh
a
my
billion.
God, really?
We don't have 12 days to explain the plot of Metal Gear Solid
Oh,
to you.
fair enough.
Because it spans over the course of like what? Well, the games are over the course of like what, 30 years?
30, 40 years, something like that.
Like that. Whenever the MSX came out.
Yeah.
Ah, Jesus.
My answer would be, who's better at blackjack?
I can't answer that question.
That was me hitting the microphone with my forehead.
Yeah.
God damn.
Can we throw something at him?
No. Ah.
I've wanted to abuse you a lot this episode, Travis, and you know what? I apologize, but
man.
you deserve it.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
got a great idea whenever somebody makes whenever the other two people don't like something the third person did. I've got this air cannon.
Oh my God.
Oh, I've seen the air cannon.
Yeah, the air Zuka. You just
Yeah, it's
pull
like
it back
the-
and God, it's so much fun.
I love those.
Yeah. Yeah, we could just whip that out and shoot each other in the face with it whenever somebody does something.
Oh, why? All right, guys. It's time to talk about the elephant inside the elephant in the room.
Inside of the casino.
It's
If you insist. Ben, I think we're going to need to take Travis to a doctor. He clearly believes he's in a casino.
Travis, do you smell toast?
Yeah. And not the toast you had for breakfast. I mean literal toast.
No.
That toast was movie magic.
And that it wasn't real.
That kiwi jam.
Jam. Kiwi jam.
Kiwi jam is delicious.
Kiwi jam was my jam.
Yeah.
Okay. The elephant inside the elephant in the room is...
Tuberculosis?
No. What?
I don't know.
Why would it be a disease? Do you have TB?
No, I don't think I do.
Does anybody have TB? Is that a thing we still have?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a kid in when I was in school. He got tested for TB because he was on a flight with a guy who had tuberculosis.
I thought we
No. Hell,
we got a vaccine for that.
the
We
plague is
have
coming
a
back.
vaccine for it, but it's still around. We
Yeah.
didn't get rid of the disease.
Like we
Yeah.
did smallpox.
Yeah, if we
Yeah,
got rid of
and polio.
anti-vaxxers, we would get rid of more diseases.
Guys, I have a great idea.
Yeah.
Let's cut that part out.
What, you don't want to kill anti-vaxxers?
All right, I think we've got a big enough thingy that you can see. It was like, oh, we should probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
The elephant inside the elephant in the room is Native American representation in this episode.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We're going to have to talk about it.
It's a terrible pun I could make.
Disclaimer,
All right.
we're a bunch of white boys/girls.
Yep.
Yeah. Extremely.
We live in Alabama, which does not have a lot of Native American tribes hanging around because of Andrew Jackson and the Trail of Tears.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the city we live in, there are markers for the original route
Yeah.
of the Trail of
It's like, hey,
Tears.
it's right here
So-
in front of the bank.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
history is like very much in our face, right?
Yep.
But I'm not going to talk about whether or not, because there is a Native American character. He has the most, like,
I think his name was Runs with Plot Development.
yes. It's a very stereotypical name.
Yeah.
And then it might actually be like a name. Like they might have, I mean, it is a name, but like they might, it's like Joe Whitetree or something, or Joe Littletree.
Yeah.
And it might actually be like, that is a name that
Yeah.
if you went on a reservation or you just met a Native American out and about, like he would be like, oh, I'm this guy. And we'd be like, oh, cool. We're doing a Supernatural episode. It's a crazy coincidence how that works out. But,
Yeah.
but like Supernatural was written by white people for a primarily white audience. And so the lens that they have of Native Americans is through that white lens.
There's ways of getting around that lens, but it involves, finding someone who doesn't have that lens.
So like a Native American.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like we have plenty of them. We can go. You can find them. You can ask them and say, "Hey, how would you write this character?"
Yeah, or like, yeah, exactly.
Instead of watching old westerns.
Which is pretty much what they did.
Yeah.
And the Native American character is how they find out about
The curse and things.
the curse and
The chief and stuff like that.
yeah. So the chief cursed the land, saying like no white people would ever live on this land, and if white people came, bugs would come. The nature would revolt against them for 6 days.
Yeah.
Which is the amount of time that the cavalry basically decimated the Native American tribe that was there.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the trope, ancient Indian burial grounds. Specifically,
Because I know, like, we in Alabama we have mounds. Like, I think is it Moundville down near Tuscaloosa? That is like it's like we have Native American like mounds down there. I don't know if they're graves or if it's like a burial site, but I do know there are other mounds down there. They're supposed to be like a sacred kind of area.
I'm not sure. But I was going to talk about it through the lens of like,
Through the lens of trying to find your notes.
no, yes.
Do we need some note finding music?
Do 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 boop bum bum. No, basically, what I'm getting at is that the trope, the ancient ancient Indian burial grounds, which is like, oh, we built this house on an ancient Indian burial ground, and now there's ghosts.
Yeah.
Which we've seen in like Amityville Horror or The Shining or Pet Cemetery. And we put a bunch of graves with pets in them in an ancient Indian burial ground, and now the pets are zombies. That is a very old trope, but I've looked, and it does not seem to come from a place of like, it doesn't have a Native American origin, which
Yeah.
means that it is something that white people viewed Native Americans through. Do you see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But Native American burial grounds, like, okay, it is a very old trope. There is a 1793 poem that basically talks about like the mystical nature of ancient Indian burial grounds and how they, how a white person, the author of the poem, views them, which is like spiritual and interesting and kind of evil.
Yeah.
And we'll link that poem in the show notes if any of you guys want to read it. But basically, what this goes back to is the Puritans and how they viewed Native Americans.
Wait, like the Puritans were just assholes.
They were the biggest assholes.
Yeah.
Just
And
look at those belt buckles on their fucking hats.
yeah, what's even the point,
Yeah,
Puritans?
What are you trying to?
What are you
tighten
trying to?
up?
Awful fashion choices aside,
They don't want
right.
their hats to fall off.
shh, their heads were too big for that.
Tighten it up, Puritans.
Tighten the fuck up, Puritans.
Just like those belts on your fucking hats.
But the Puritans, and I don't know if like the layman knows this, right? But the Puritans literally viewed Native Americans as evil, as of the devil,
Yeah,
because they associated nature with evil. Yes.
Yeah,
The look you're giving me, the look Ben is giving me right now is like, how?
Well, yeah, because like if you believe that God created everything.
Yeah. I don't know how much I can say this. Puritans are assholes.
Yeah.
no,
Puritans
yeah,
are dicks.
Yeah.
And that actually is, there's an example of like how Native Americans viewed nature in the short story by Nathaniel Hawthorne, famous writer about Puritans, not Native Americans, excuse me, how Puritans viewed nature. Young but Goodman Brown,
Yep.
which is about a man named Young Goodman Brown who leaves his wife, Faith, to go out into the forest for 3 months to
Oh,
do some
man.
shit.
They were pretty on the nose with that.
Yeah, they weren't subtle, buddy. And meets the literal devil. He meets Satan. He's holding a stick that as a snake cane.
Oh Jesus.
A cane made of
Christ.
snakes. It's not very subtle, and that's out in the forest, and that's how the Puritans viewed nature. Like Nathaniel Hawthorne was not a Puritan, but he wrote about Puritans. And that eventually that changed with Ralph Waldo Emerson and the Transcendentalist movement.
Right.
Where all these like Ralph Waldo Emerson is America's like intellectual.
He's transcendental.
He transcendentalizes the shit out of America. But he wrote like basically an essay called Nature, and it's about how great nature is and how like going out can get you closer to God. And so that's when you start to see attitudes change, not towards Native Americans, but at least towards nature.
Right.
And the connection that white people associate between Native Americans and nature is so like hardcore that it's actually parodied nowadays. It was parodied back in when this episode of Supernatural came out.
Do you think Puritans hated nature because it reminded them of the Garden of Eden that they were kicked out of?
I mean, possibly.
Yeah, that
I
could
really
be.
can't get
Yeah.
into it.
All right, that was
They
more.
believed that the devil was out in nature, that if you walk in the woods by yourself, and honestly, I think it's more of a stay with the herd.
Yeah.
You get
okay.
because you could get kicked out of a Puritan town by doing anything,
By
right? Pretty
being
much,
different,
yeah,
yeah.
by having fun,
by making a blueberry cobbler instead of an apple cobbler.
basically. I mean, the idle hands.
Yeah.
That saying that comes from like a Puritan work ethic,
right.
right? Idle hands are the devil's playground, or idle minds.
Yeah.
You had to. I mean, being a Puritan was jury. They banned Christmas. If you want to talk about some war on Christmas shit, the
Yeah.
Puritans banned Christmas
God.
because of how not Christ-like it was.
The war on Christmas has been going on since 1492.
And I think if you said to people like, "Hey, it's fine if you go out in nature," a bunch of people would be like, "Well, why the fuck are we staying around these Puritans? They're fucking nuts."
Yeah.
Like Shakespeare hated them. Everyone hated the Puritans.
Yeah, that's why they left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. They went to Holland, and they were like, "Fuck these Dutch.
Yeah.
I'm going to America, or what will be named America later, the New World." But in the 1970s, there's that famous commercial where there's a piece of litter on the ground,
Yeah.
and the Native American chief looks at it and starts crying. Right. In the 70s, that was like, "Oh, this is a hardcore PSA about not littering."
Yeah.
Today, that has been parodied to death,
So
As
much.
it should be.
as it should be. Futurama, which I'm pretty sure this episode came out before the Supernatural Bugs episode,
Yeah.
parodies that.
Yeah. Because I think that commercial came out like late 80s, like you said. And so I think that got just reamed
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
every which way. Because I think SNL did a bit about it.
Yes.
Simpsons.
I'm
everybody.
sure every comedic any comedic thing, like sketch show, anything like that, animation, it just parodied it to filth because it was so
I wonder if the kids
crazy.
the kids in the hall ever parodied it. That'd be cool.
But I'm just going off of that.
Sorry.
So there's this connection between like Native Americans and nature, and there's connection between nature and spiritual aspects. So out of this, you kind of get the ancient Indian burial ground.
Yeah.
And towards the mid 20th century, people started realizing, hey, we have treated the Native Americans pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Right? And so, and again, this is a personal theory of mine. It is a belief that I have. It is not science. I think that the ancient Indian burial ground was born out of this white guilt and a way to give Native Americans power posthumously.
Yeah.
Right? Sure, we've treated them really shitty, but they have a way to get their revenge. And it's a time where, yes, white people as a whole drove them off their lands and really hurt them, and we have tried to paint them in a negative light for all these years.
Yeah.
But at least I'm not as bad as the white guy who wants to desecrate their burial grounds.
Yeah.
That guy's always an asshole. He's some sort of materialistic developer. He doesn't understand why nature's important. He's going to get what's coming to him.
Yeah.
And there's never a way to break the curse either.
Yeah.
Like in The Shining, they don't break the curse. They just, have to get out of there. Same with Amityville Horror.
Yeah.
You don't break the curse, you just leave, which is what Sam and Dean end up having to do.
Yeah. They're like, okay,
They're just like, all right.
we're gone.
That's just a series based off of a lie, too, right? The Amityville Horror, because it was okay, cool, because that's just a hilarious story. Because you just rolled with it for years and years and years.
I mean, anytime something that's like supernatural horror is like based off a true story, I'm like, probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Well, we all know how I feel about that, but
Yeah. I mean, ghosts aren't that big of assholes, so that's why I'm always like, it's probably not
exactly.
that
That's
true.
what I believe too. Yeah.
No, you can't really be an asshole if you don't exist.
Exactly.
Oh, well, I see where this is going. Okay.
I see the anti-ghost faction is at it again, Ben. So we've got this, and again, like through my research, I have not found anything that's like, oh yeah, I'm a Native American, I've looked into Native Americans culturally, and here's what it says, according to the Creek tribe, if you build something on a Native American burial ground, on a Creek burial ground, which is another thing. Like in this episode, in all of the examples that I've listed, there's no like, oh yeah, the Choctaws used to live here, and that's
there's no specific tribe
it's just
mentioned.
like Indians,
Yeah,
right?
generic.
I don't think we really started keeping up with where they lived until after we were taking their land.
We still had there are maps you can find nowadays that's like, here's what all the nations, different Native American nations looked like before white people came.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Before colonialism and imperialism, all that jazz. So you can look those up. Like, we do have records of those. What I'm saying is that, like, part of this trope is not about giving a voice to Native Americans, because there are often no Native American characters except the one guy who explains the plot.
Exactly.
There's no, like, The Shining, except for a throwaway line that's like, oh, this was built on an ancient Indian burial ground. There's no Native American, nothing even looks like, there's not even a cultural appropriation thing going on where they've got some ghost wearing a fucking headdress. Like, it's just a trope. And even before this episode it's a cliche at this point. It's not even just a trope, because tropes can be used to good purpose.
Yeah, this is straight up I think it's literally the oldest cliche in American literature, probably.
It really is, because it's kind of born out of this like Gothic American, movement. And even at the time, this is what I think is so poisonous, is that the supernatural writers weren't thinking about any of this. They were just checking a box.
Yep.
Why are there bugs on the land? We've got three options. Either A, witch who controls bugs. B, ancient Indian burial ground. Or C, the bugs have gained sentience. I'm going to go with B.
Yeah, and I think that also plays into why this episode just did not turn out well.
Right.
Because it was just like, it was a, what's it called when there's like, it was just a form.
Yeah.
Like, and you just fill
formulaic?
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Formulaic.
it was just a formulaic. What's the thing where it's like,
A Mad Libs?
yeah, it's like a Mad Libs, or it's like a form letter where it's like dear sir or madam, and then you circle
Yes.
sir.
Yeah.
And it's like we are like very sorry for this, or we are very happy for this. And you circle that one.
Yeah.
And it's like they just went through and circled the ones they wanted to.
Sam and Dean are attacked by I need a noun.
Yeah.
I really want supernatural Mad Libs now. It's like, all right, guys, I need a cryptid,
Oh, I'm
a
sure.
source of evil.
I'm
Yes.
sure someone out there has created supernatural
Yeah.
Mad Libs.
Well, and that's I think because Supernatural has played, the entire first, 8 episodes have been them playing with these like well-known horror tropes, right?
Yeah.
Or urban legends, Hookman, Bloody Mary. But where they put a explanation and a cool twist behind it, here it's just like
It was
you guys
very
are
lazy.
you guys are American, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are culturally aware of this.
It's like they literally just phoned in an episode.
That's Travis. You hit the fucking nail on the head. Because if I had to use one word to describe
I
this
hit the
episode,
jackpot.
You hit the jackpot.
We were in a
Travis.
casino.
I'll go along with this pun because you made a very or not a pun. This joke because you made a very good point. If I had to describe this episode in one word, it would be lazy. Mm-hmm. And that is so frustrating because we've seen Supernatural do better already.
Yeah.
Even in the first 7 episodes, we have seen well thought out, interesting, well written
So yeah, so far
episodes.
in these first 8 episodes, the only 2 that I haven't liked were this one and Dead in the Water.
Right.
The
and
other
Dead
ones
in the
were
Water because it
pretty
was
interesting.
boring. And this one because it's just lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is we rushed it. We did the homework and like we wrote the essay in a
They
single night.
Yeah.
didn't even do their homework.
They just cheated off.
Yeah, it's like
cheated-
Yeah.
they
cheated
read
off
one Wikipedia page and then wrote their paper and turned it in 5 minutes. They finished it 5 minutes before they were supposed to turn it in.
I was gonna say they cheated off the Native American kid.
Yeah, basically.
And then they missed their turnitin.com deadline, and then they had to work out some weird deal with their professor, and then it's just a whole mess.
yeah. I want to mention one more thing about this, and then I want to go into wrap-ups. Stephen King basically rewrote Young Goodman Brown
Yeah.
in his short story collection, Everything's Eventual. And that short story is called The Man in the Black Suit. It is about a boy who goes fishing in nature and meets the devil. In both of these scenarios, it's about a young man who leaves his or her or their homestead, where presumably they are Christian. They go out in nature. They interact with nature, right? In The Man in the Black Suit, the boy almost gets stung by a bee, and he's scared because his brother died from bee stings.
Oh, God.
And then they meet the devil and have to escape him in some way. Nathaniel Hawthorne lived in a time when people were literally afraid of nature because they literally thought the devil was living in the woods.
Yeah.
Stephen King did not have that fear. Stephen King was going off of a cultural consciousness in part created by the Puritans and Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Right.
And the thing about, this culture that's been built up is that we can pick and choose what parts we want to leave behind. The Stephen King story is a really good story. I prefer it to Young Goodman Brown. I don't think the thing's moving anymore. It's moving. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm so paranoid that we're going to lose this.
Just watch the numbers above in red.
Good point.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, as long as it's red, it's recording.
Okay, thank you. But Stephen King does not have this cultural fear that Nathaniel Hawthorne did. Pet Sematary, which has that ancient Indian burial ground, is almost a parody
Yeah.
because of how ridiculous it is.
Yeah.
The idea that pets are going to come back to life and fuck shit up. Like,
What stays on the ground should stay on the ground.
what I'm saying is that it's time to retire this cliche.
Yeah.
We get to pick and choose. We are at a point where we can pick and choose what we keep and what we get rid of. And the ancient Indian burial ground, it's tired. It's annoying. It's untrue. It's racist. There's just no point in having it anymore.
And
it doesn't do
honestly,
anything.
I can't think of any modern media things that have used an ancient Indian burial ground or an ancient burial ground for plot reasons. At least not as far as
I can't
serious
either, but
media,
you know, 10
it
years
mostly,
from now,
mostly just
It could be
parodies at this point.
Yeah.
you know, 10 years from now, some fuckboy like Darren Aronofsky is gonna fucking make a critically acclaimed movie that has this very plot device.
Yeah. It's gonna be 3 white people talking about ancient burial grounds.
Yeah, he's basically recorded this episode.
Yeah.
Have you seen the episode of South Park with that makes fun of Pet Cemetery? Oh, it's good.
Oh man, I'll check it out.
But Butters' dad buries what he thinks to be Butters in a pet cemetery,
Oh.
and that's all I'm gonna tell you
All right, let's figure it out.
because it's fucking hilarious.
Are we ready to wrap up this episode? Say our goodbyes?
Yeah.
Leave this terrible episode behind?
Yep.
All right.
Yes.
Finally ready to be done with it.
Travis, the next
All right.
episode, it's called Home.
It's called Home.
What do you think it's about?
All right. Sam and Dean go to a house that looks like their house, but it's not their house because it's really a giant monster, and they walked into its mouth, and now it's starting to digest them.
All right, so Monster House. You're going with the plot to Monster House. All right, well, I don't know if that's going to happen, but if it does,
That was a lot better than I thought it was gonna be.
yeah,
It's the first. That's not the first time I've said this morning.
it won't be the last, buddy.
Hey.
All right,
Very
well, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
My name is Ari Kobler. You can find us at HABcast on Instagram and Twitter.
Yep. HABcast.
You can personally find me at Ari the Spy on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me, Ben Teichmiller, on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. Fluffy Bunnies.
And you can find me, Travis Short, on Twitter and Instagram at Actually Tall. Yeah. I know.
I don't spell out anymore, so you don't have to spell out.
It was on purpose.
Thank you for listening, and join us next time.
Yeah. Have fun.
And until next time.
It all comes together now,
It all comes together.
which is something I never do, but whatever.
A family that comes together stays together.
Because they get sticky. And they can't
See,
leave.
you've gotten into my porn again. I told you to stay out of the incest shit. It's too hard for you, Travis.
It is. It's too much.
Why go down the street when you can go down the hall?
I just